Fade in, fade in, fade in, fade in, fade in.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
When I read 8, I told Ryan, I fundamentally disagree with virtually everything you've decided about my character. Well, you're assuming that I train Ray.
Exactly. Sneaky.
Do I?
Sneaky.
I know I have to be really careful. People say, was it difficult to pick up and wield a lightsaber again? And I go, do I pick up?
Is it difficult acting in this movie? Am
Well-
I in this movie?
I can promise you my part is twice as big as it was in Force Awakens.
Are you bummed that Luke didn't get sort of a reunion with Han Solo?
Absolutely. In fact, when I was reading it, I thought, if Leia's trying to mentally contact me and she's not successful, she'll rush to his aid. She'll get close to him and then get into some dire situation, and that's when I show up for a big yay! Save her life. Then we rush to Han and are in the same position that Rey and Finn and Chewie are. Too late to save him, but witnesses. And I say, because it would carry so much emotional resonance into the next film. For us, his wife, his best friend to witness, instead of two characters that have known him, 20 minutes? Luke would never say that. I'm sorry. Well, in this version, see, I'm talking about the George Lucas Star Wars. This is the next generation of Star Wars. So I almost had to think of Luke as another character. Maybe he's Jake Skywalker. He's not my Luke Skywalker.
Something that George initially set out to do was a kind of 3-act saga with these 3 trilogies, and I think we felt that we should honor and respect that.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
He's not my Luke Skywalker. I said to Ryan, I said, Jedis don't give up. I mean, even if he had a problem, he would maybe take a year to try and regroup. But if he made a mistake, he would try and right that wrong. So right there, we had a fundamental difference.
I think that the thing that George never did was maintain the status quo. And I think that that's really important because...
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you!
Who is this guy? How did the most optimistic, hopeful character in the galaxy turn into this hermit who says it's time for the Jedi to end? I read that and I said, what? I mean, that's not what a Jedi does. I mean, a Jedi is optimistic. A Jedi has tenacity. He never gives up. He doesn't secrete himself on an island. But you'll... it certainly surprised me to hear Luke say it's time for the Jedi to end. I said, what?
Yeah.
Luke was the most optimistic, hopeful character. And
Yes.
I had a real, sort of a back and forth with Ryan. I said, Ryan, a Jedi doesn't give up.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
You know, a Jedi, if he does something wrong, he makes it right. You know, even if he's traumatized and goes away, he regroup within, 6 months, but 20, 30 years? Come on, that's a little bit overindulgent in my...
Fade in.
No! No!
Have you been keeping Ray's secret from the beginning? Did you know about the parentage? Like, tell me about that journey of when you found out.
No. At the beginning, there was toying with like an Obi-Wan connection, and then it really went, there were like different versions, and then it really went to that she was no one. And then it came to episode 9, and JJ pitched me the film and was like, oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy. And I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, we're not sure. So it kept changing. So then even I was filming and I wasn't sure what the answer was going to be.
But this was incredible.
Fuck you!
What's up, all the Ewoks, Droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as Star Wars Girl. And today,
I'm going to be talking about this Ray Fisher news because for those of you that do not know, Ray Fisher is the actor that played Cyborg in the Justice League movie. Now, what happened with the Justice League movie, I think everyone is aware of, but if you are new, first time watching, you have no idea what's going on. So, Zack Snyder was doing the Justice League. He had a family tragedy, had to leave in the middle of shooting. Joss Whedon came in and picked up where Zack left off, and I guess he made some changes. And Ray Fisher has been saying that there was bad stuff that happened on the set, and but he hasn't said what it was. He just said bad stuff happened, and he's upset, and he's advocating for people to get fired and stuff like that. So it's like, well, those are pretty big accusations. So what happened? But he's never said what happened. He just said bad things happened and that it was not a safe work environment or a healthy work environment. And it's like, okay, but what happened? And so there's this article out from the Hollywood Reporter. I debated on if I would just do a whole dedicated video to it. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to do a live stream. And the reason why, guys, is because honestly, I don't know enough about this stuff. I was never one of those, oh, Snyderverse, yay, yay, yay. And I figured any questions I had, all of you wonderful people in the chat could answer that for me. So that's why we are doing this live. And also, I think people get kind of irritated when I'm reading because I have severe dyslexia. So maybe it's a little bit better when it's live. Why do I sound weird? Oh, no. Do I sound weird? Let me check my audio. It's coming from my webcam. All right. Is that better? Is my audio better? Put a 1 in the chat if my audio is better, and 2 if no, it's exactly the same. For whatever reason, it was picking up my audio from my webcam, not from my microphone. Is that better? Better? Okay. Cool. Awesome. So I'm glad that it is fixed. Also, hello, everyone. Welcome. I know this is an impromptu live stream. I was thinking, oh, should I do another video? Should I do a video? And I'm like, I'm not. When you go on vacation, because you have to be in the zone to do a video, right? It takes a lot of energy. And not saying live stream doesn't, but it's a different type of energy to do a video as compared to doing a live stream. So I was like, I'm still out of the zone. I need to get in the zone before I do videos. So here I am doing this live. So let's check out. So this is the Hollywood Reporter, and it says over the past year, the Justice League actor has assailed Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers leadership for what he calls racist and inappropriate conduct while filming. Now, to me, those are pretty big accusations. Now, from what my understanding, Joss Whedon is known as kind of an asshole. For my understanding, and there's all this stuff about him with like girls, like underage girls and stuff like that. I don't know if I've heard anything specifically about him being racist or saying racist things. The inappropriate conduct is something that a lot of people have been coming out and saying about him. And I think Ethan has said that something about him, not about inappropriate conduct, just maybe the way he thinks of him as a person. So let's see. It says now he finally opens up. I'm like, well, shouldn't he have started in the beginning by opening up? Like, if you're gonna and this is what I tell everyone: if you are saying something and you're putting it out there on the internet, it's not like you're telling your mom. It's not like you're telling your best friend. You're asking millions of strangers out in the world to take your word for something. Now, I hold everyone to the standard of, would I believe this if it was a stranger on the internet telling me? The answer to that is always going to be no. If it's a stranger telling me something, I'm not going to believe them without proof. So the way that I do things, it's just like, if I'm saying something, I have the proof to show you why. Unless it's me just saying, oh, this is my feelings on this. And then I usually do explain why I feel that way about something. But if it's like, oh, somebody was racist and inappropriate, it's like, well, you better have that evidence to back it up, unless you're in a very specific situation you don't have, like, I don't know what situation you could possibly be in where you don't have evidence of that in this day and age with the technology we have. But if it's one of those he said, she said things, and with him, I mean, aside from like the scene where he becomes Cyborg, like with his father, and even then, if you're on a set, there's going to be a ton of people there. So even if it is the he said, she said, there's going to be other people in the room that can verify if what he said is the truth, or if what she said is the truth, or if maybe there's something in the middle. So when he made these accusations, my first instinct is like, well, what happened? And I feel like everyone was kind of like that. What the fuck happened? So I kind of skimmed this article. I didn't read it all the way because it was just kind of saying the same thing over and over again. So open link in new tab. Let's read this together. So here's Ray Fisher. He played Cyborg. Ray Fisher opens up about Justice League, Joss Whedon, and Warner's. I don't believe some of these people are fit for leadership. All right. My question is, well, when somebody says that, I would say, well, what are your qualifications to make that judgment? And I mean, why is it doing this? Oh, it's because there's probably an advertisement over there. So what are their qualifications? What is his qualifications to make that statement about someone, especially his jobs? What does this say? The Buffy cast came out and said the same thing. Joss seems to be a shady character. Yeah, that's what I've heard, that Joss Whedon is kind of an asshole, maybe. Which, okay, if you go and look at stories about like certain directors and people in Hollywood, sometimes they do treat their cast badly to get certain reactions out of them. Like if you go and look at the making of The Exorcist, like all of those actors were in fucking hell because guess what? The director wanted it to be authentic. And I think Alfred Hitchcock was kind of an asshole director too, right? Where he did shit to people to get that type of natural reaction from them. Right. So to me, that doesn't seem completely out of the ordinary. And I mean, there's certain limits. It's one thing to be an asshole to someone to get an emotional reaction from them. So that way it's a good shot as compared to being a creeper or, doing inappropriate things to your cast. Oh, Kubrick. Was it Kubrick that did that? Or like The Shining? Yeah, it's one of those things, which when it is in, for Joss Whedon, I don't think that was his goal, was to be, an asshole or to be creepy to certain crew members or cast members to get a reaction for, the media that he was trying to produce. I don't think that that's the situation with that. And I don't know how that type of thing would work for that. But if you're doing a movie like The Shining, I don't know, like Psycho, like The Exorcist, that is like, okay, that was, an attempt to make this the most authentic piece of art that you could in that way. And so there's that justification for it. And so that's not unheard of in Hollywood. And also you got to remember, actors are weird, directors are weird. And not in a bad way. I mean it in an endearing way. If you're doing this and you're in Hollywood, you have this special type of weirdness about you, which is why there are Hollywood actors and directors and stage performers and stuff like that. Like it takes this special type of person to be able to do those type of things. And sometimes the weirdness doesn't react well with other people's weirdness. So there could be stuff like that. But let's see what actually is going on here. Mm-hmm. Also, I tried to go to Starbucks to get extra caffeine, and they were out of the extra caffeine that I usually like. So this is pumped up with caffeine. So if I go from 0 to 100 in a minute, that is why I'm kind of chugging down caffeine, because I woke up with no energy today. I had crazy dreams. I've been having the most insane dreams the past week. It's really weird. All right, here we go. Over the past year, the actor has... Oh, I already read that. That was the title. Ray Fisher is ready to talk. Well, I would think he would be ready to talk when he first made these accusations, but I mean, that's just me. I personally don't take strangers' word on things. I need some kind of proof. Is that big enough for you guys? There you go. Ever since June 2020, when he fired off a tweet accusing Joss Whedon of gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable conduct on set of the Justice League, the 33-year-old actor has used social media and a series of interviews to lop serious allegations of racist behavior and cover up at Warner Brothers. but he still hasn't said what happened. That's the thing that's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. What the fuck happened? Oh, it's because aliens are about to show themselves. Oh, that'd be cool. I would like to meet aliens, except I don't know why they would want to come here. Let's see. For Fisher, who plays Cyborg in the film, the issue is no longer so much what happened on set in 2017 after director Zack Snyder was replaced by Joss Whedon. Though, no. That is the issue. That is the issue, and that's why we need to talk about it. We need to talk about what happened. Why are they trying to downplay this? If it wasn't for this, the most important issue out there, nothing else would have happened. This is the first domino. What do you mean it's no longer so much what happened? What? Oh my God, this is stupid. After director Zack Snyder was replaced with Joss Whedon, he's ready to explain that too. He should have explained that from the beginning. Why hasn't he explained that? This is the most important thing out of everything else, and the way that people handled it is important too. But they wouldn't be handling something if this initial issue, wouldn't have happened. I'm so confused. His unrelenting focus in recent months has been the way executives, first at Warner Film Studios and then at its parent Warner Media, handled allegations raised by himself and others. Warner Media has previously said that remedial action was taken as a result of its investigation, but has not elaborated. A spokesperson tells THR that for privacy and legal reasons, our policy is not to publicly disclose the findings or results of an investigation. Then why is everything getting tweeted about on Twitter? If you don't want to make anything public, why is it public? I don't understand. It's like they can say, hey guys, there's an issue. It's kind of like when somebody's like, hey, there's something going on, but I can't tell you. This is so irritating. Catherine Force, a former federal judge who conducted the Warner Media probe, tells THR in a statement that in interviews with more than 80 witnesses, she found no credible support for claims of racial animus or racial insensitivity. So she talked to 80 people and she can't find any evidence to back up what Ray Fisher is saying. So what's the issue then? I need to know what happened. What did you don't have to name any names. All you just have to say is like, okay, if they're on set and let's say Ray Fisher and Joss Whedon got pissed off at each other and they're not working well together and Joss calls them the N-word. Okay. And then Ray Fisher's like, oh, well, that's racist. And I mean, me standing there, I would probably be like, yeah, that is, I would never say that. I would never call someone that, right? So if a director is calling, an actor something like that, yeah, that's, a little insensitive, in my personal opinion. But, if she interviewed 80 people and she didn't find any claims of that, what are they trying to say? What happened? Why won't anyone tell me what happened? Let's keep reading. Ah, my goodness. And let me pin this. Also, guys, there's over 400 people here. Thank you so much for being here. Please smash the like button if you do not mind. All right, let's see. A Warner Media spokesperson notes that the company made extraordinary effort to accommodate Mr. Fisher's concerns about the investigation and to ensure its fullness and fairness, and has complete confidence in the investigation process and force conclusions. All right. Let's see. Okay, what does this have to do with anything else? I just read that as I was drinking. Fisher was raised by a single mother and his grandmother in Lanside, New Jersey, a community that he notes was first self-governing Black municipality north of the Mason-Dixon line. What does that have anything to do with anything else that I just read? It doesn't. He says he felt a new sense of urgency to speak out when the pandemic hit and Black Lives Matter protesters took to the streets. What does that have anything to do with this? You go from saying that their investigators interviewed 80 people and found no credible supports of claims of racism. And then the next do they not have an editor that can say, hey, this isn't the right placement for this? I mean, maybe it goes into it, but that has nothing to do with the previous paragraph. To Fisher, who had a few scene credits playing the half-man, half-machine Cyborg, the first black superhero in a DC film universe, was both a huge career break and a major responsibility. Justice League was released. I don't think that's right. I guess in the Snyderverse. But I mean, you have black superheroes, and I guess it is saying DC, but I'm like, I'm not a racist, so I don't really care if a person is black or white. As far as superheroes, I never complained when I was a kid and I saw Blade and he was black. I never complained about that. It's cool, you know. That was a cool, you know, it was cool. Everybody liked that. I never complained because Morpheus was black. That was the best person for the job. And me, when I think of Green Lantern, I don't think of Hal Jordan. I think of Jon Stewart. Like that to me is my Green Lantern, because when I was a kid, I watched, you know, the cartoons. I watched Batman the Animated Series. I watched Superman the Animated Series. I watched the Justice League and the Justice League Unlimited. And guess who Green Lantern is? Oh yeah, it's Jon Stewart. And guess what? He's black. I didn't care. You know, I don't think anyone was complaining that Spawn is black, right? It's a cool character. I might not necessarily, I don't really like the movie because when I was a kid, it scared me. The one guy creeped me out and he was disgusting. But if you look at just the design of Spawn, it's a cool character. So when I see stuff like this, and I remember I was kind of irritated when everyone was losing their minds because it's like, oh my gosh, Black Panther's the first black superhero movie. And I'm like, Blade? Spawn? Last time I checked, Spawn was a superhero movie, you know? I know it's not, you know, all big like Marvel and the MCU, but that was a superhero movie. You can't deny that it exists. And if you do, I mean, you might have some problems. But yeah, Catwoman, Eartha Kitt. Eartha fucking Kitt is a black woman, and she was Catwoman. Like, and I can ask my parents, and I mean, they, you know, I don't think that they mind, or that that anyone really lost their minds over Eartha Kitt playing Catwoman. I think that she was a great casting for Catwoman, you know? It just, Spawn is an anti-hero. Well, you know, when you're talking about a superhero movie. Yeah, Halle Berry, that too. Yes. Halle Berry was Catwoman as well. It's not unheard of to have, you know, different races play characters. So that to me, when people say, oh, it's the first, it's like, well, it really is not, unless you get very specific. And it's like in the Snyderverse, he is the first black character playing this, and I'm like, it is. Well, this was back in 2017. Like, it's 2017. Why is everyone making a big deal about race when it in real life it's not a big deal? You know, it's unless you provide very specific instances. I mean, it blows my mind. But let's continue. The half machine cyborg, the first black superhero in the DC film universe, was both a huge career break and a major responsibility. Justice League was released in 2017, the year before Marvel broke ground with Black Panther. I like how they have to include that in there. Also, again, Blade, Spawn. I know not everyone do, but when I look at The Matrix, I'm like, well, that, yes, I know it's science fiction, but to me, I'm like, those are kind of like superheroes. I mean, even Jedi are kind of like superheroes, especially to little kids. I know it's, you know, different franchises, different genres and stuff, but I mean, you saw Mace Windu kicking ass. I don't know why this is such a big issue. He was mindful that the film was overseen almost entirely by white executives and filmmakers. So the only thing I've seen that's been kind of racist in this
would be this statement, is that if you're only looking at people based on their race, which I have the definition of racism. Let me pull that up right here. So this is important, right? And here we go. So racism. Racism is a noun. It is a prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. So by that definition, by, them going and saying, okay, well, they went through 80 witnesses, there was no credible claims against racism, but then you have somebody that is saying he was mindful that the film was overseen almost entirely by white executives and filmmakers, so only looking at people's race. Doesn't that fit the definition of racism? Oh yeah, Deadshot. What year did that movie come out? What year was that? Oh my goodness, what year was that movie? Oh my gosh, what was that? Suicide Squad. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, I think somebody was saying in the chat Hancock. I just remember I didn't like that movie. But yeah, Will Smith was in Suicide Squad. I mean, fuck, Will Smith is his own genre of superhero. 2016? Okay, so then he's not. He's not, well, I guess he's a superhero. He's the black superhero. All right, then. So because he's not a villain, which I guess Will Smith is disqualified from, but I mean, this is the race. Could you imagine if a white person said that? If a white person said, I was mindful that the film was overseen almost entirely by black executives and filmmakers, that person would be labeled instantly as racist, get canceled left and right. But because it's the other way around, it's fine. So this is the only instance of racism I have seen yet in this article. Now let's continue. Let's see. Hancock is still a superhero. Yeah, he is. I always forget about it because I didn't really like that movie. The one thing that stands out to me in that movie is the sweet potato pie. Like, when I think of that movie, I think of sweet potato pie. Maybe it's just because I like pie. All right. While Fisher has dropped details and named names, outsiders have struggled to understand, how did Whedon incur his anger? Did Fisher really decline to participate in an investigation that was launched in response to his own complaints, as Warner claimed in September? Was Fisher fighting a righteous battle or a, what the hell is this word? I don't think I've ever heard this word before. Cutie talks? No, I'm not even reading this correctly. I have never seen this word before. Let's look it up. What does this word mean? Learn something new every day. What is this word? Exceedingly idealistic, unrealistic, and impractical.
Quixotic.
That is not a word you hear every day. I have never heard that word before. Oh, thank you, Queasy, for the super chat. They make such a big deal about race, to where it alienates us black folks. They act as if we need special treatment and can't do for ourselves. You know what? And they do that to women too. It's like, well, they say that women and, people of, if you're black, if you're Asian, if you're Jewish, well, for a while they were saying, it got weird where they said Asians weren't a minority, and then they started saying Asians were white, and then they started saying Jews were white. And so it's like, well, what is it? Because one day you want to virtue signal about, your support of the Jewish community, but then the next day you're saying that they're white. They do that. They take people that are minorities that they need to stand up for, but then by doing that, it makes them less human. It's like, oh, well, because this person is X, Y, and Z, they need us to defend them, right? They need us to speak for them. And it's like, you do realize that they have voices and they can speak for themselves. Like, I'm pretty sure Martin Luther King Jr. could speak for himself. I don't think he needed somebody to go out and, tell everybody about his dream for him. He did that on his own, it's so irritating, but I don't see how why don't people call them out on this? But if you do call them out, then you're racist, you're homophobic, you're all of these terrible things, which it's like, okay, well, we're obviously none of these things. Oh, yes, no. I did not forget. I mentioned Halle Berry. I was thinking of men because they're making the thing about Cyborg, so that's why I was naming male characters, not female characters. Trust me, I remember Storm. Storm is actually one of my favorite X-Men. I think she's awesome. Where was it? I actually think I have it inside because I was working on a project. But I guess I have this comic, which I got specifically because Storm was on the cover of it. And I remember showing like John, and he was like, "Oh, you have that one? That's a good one." And I was like, "Oh, cool." I randomly grabbed this when I was at a comic book store in college, and I liked it because Storm was on the cover. But trust me, when I trying to make this analogy with this whole situation, I was thinking more because it's saying, oh, it's the first black male superhero. I was, my mind went to male characters. Darth Vader. I was telling this about Darth Vader the other day when somebody's like, there was never anyone that was disabled in Star Wars. And I'm like, Darth Vader? I mean, last time I checked, having no arms and legs counts as being disabled. The last time I checked, Darth Vader was severely disabled. He just happened to be alive in a time where the technology existed, so that way he could have prosthetic arms and legs and, opposable thumbs. But Darth Vader is severely disabled. He's also voice acted by a black man. Excuse me. And he's also Mufasa, right? Russell Hall, thank you for the super chat. I already forgot how to say this word. Was coined as a reference to Don Quixote. It's an easy way to remember the word and what it implies. Well, thank you. See, you learn something new every day. I had never seen that word before. I never had seen it used in an article before. See, this is why I'm glad I did this live and I didn't try to make a video, because then I'd be trying to read. I have to re-record over and over to try to make sure I didn't say any words wrong. But thank you for that. It is interesting. Shane Kina, thank you for that. What happened? Not setting the mainstream movie up properly. Too rushed into the league itself, rather than building up slowly. A LA Avengers. See, honestly, at this point, everybody knows who Superman is. Everybody knows. I personally, I would have done it the opposite. I would have had it set up first. I mean, you look at Marvel, I would have done the Justice League first, because you don't need to do a Superman origin story. Everyone knows who Superman is. Everybody knows that he is the last son of Krypton, that he crashed in Kansas, who his parents are, how his father died, who Superman is. Everybody already knows. Everybody knows who Wonder Woman is. Everyone knows who Batman is. Maybe not everybody knows about the Flash. Like, if I go and ask my parents right now, I think my father could tell me. I don't think my mother could tell me. She might be able to know. She'll probably know a little bit about Barry Allen. She might not know about Wally West. She definitely knows about Wonder Woman. My mom loves Wonder Woman. I think everybody knows Green Lantern. You get the ring. You do the thing. So just have the Justice League. And then after the Justice League movie, you get to know all these characters, and then you get to do a movie about each character, how they dealt with the aftermath of the Justice League. And you can even have, it's a Wonder Woman movie. Well, Bruce Wayne's in it. If you're going to go the route that the Justice League animated shows went, where, Bruce, likes Diana and stuff like that. So Bruce keeps showing up in Diana's movie. Or maybe it's like, oh, hey, since we already have the Justice League set up, well, then that's a perfect opportunity to do all of these cameos. And so let's say Green Lantern is doing a mission and he might need, Martian the Manhunter. So he calls up Martian the Manhunter. And I mean, they could do that whole thing. I remember Shane Davis was talking about it, where it's like he had Martian the Manhunter in a bubble and he destroyed an entire planet. It's like, do stuff like that, build characters, and then it gets everyone invested, and everyone's going to want to go see this movie because, even though it's, it's a Green Lantern movie, well, you might see Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, you might see them. So that's the way I would have done it personally if I had to be in charge of this, I would change a lot more than that. But just if you wanted to do, you want the profitability that Marvel has, but you don't want to do a carbon copy version of Marvel, that's what I would have done. And if you need to do origin stories, I know a lot of people don't like flashbacks. I actually do like flashbacks. I don't mind them. When I'm watching the Mummy movies, I actually really enjoy when like the beginning of the Mummy, when it's a flashback of ancient Egypt and then it like goes to their future, or like their present day, and even in the Mummy Returns where it's Evie's having the flashbacks of her past life. I like that kind of stuff. That's just me personally. Let's see. But anyways, let's see. Michael Pronesti, thank you, Mr. Jet. Chelag Lars in episode 2 was also disabled. Oh yeah, he was. He lost his legs to the Tuskens. He had a hover chair. Yeah, he was. So Yoda had a cane. I mean, a majority of the Sith are severely disabled. Yeah, you know. But the people that were complaining about that, they don't know anything about Star Wars except for the new movies that came out. So that's one of the real big issues that they have. Mm-hmm. Also, I see Cecil's in the chat. Hello, Cecil. Snarticon DM, thank you for the super chat. Jar Jar was disabled. He was, oh, I can't say that or I'll get in trouble. But Jar Jar was special. Jar Jar was special. You guys want to know a secret? So when you're at Disney, like Disneyland or at like a Disney store, if they say if they say, oh, there's a guest here with extra magic, that means that, you know, you have, that there's somebody there that has what that word means. So that's Disney's way of letting everyone know if there is a guest or somebody there. That's how they let them know about it. Or if, you know, a little kid's going to go see Mickey or Minnie Mouse and they let them know, oh, they just say, oh, they have extra magic. And so that way they know how to, I wouldn't say like handle the situation because it's not something that needs to be handled necessarily, but it's to help out other cast members and especially the characters, both, you know, so that way they know how to interact with them. Just a fun little Easter egg if you guys know about Disney. What, seriously? Yes, seriously. It's not meant to be derogatory. It's meant it started off as a way to let like, you know, characters that are playing Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, and they might not be aware. And so they'll let them know in line. Like if they see someone in line, they say, oh, hey, Mickey or Minnie, there's going to be, you know, this little kid that has a little extra magic. And so it's a way for them to give them a specialized kind of, I don't know, interaction and stuff like that. Yeah, you learn these things when you work for them. Let's see. Yeah, just so everyone knows. I use immutability. No, Cecil, you're not a Sith. You're just lazy. And you know what's funny is usually you have to have paperwork. They took one look at Cecil and they're like, we believe you. Here, take the scooter. All right, let's get back to this thing that we are reading. All right, where was I at? Let's see. When he is set out as a path that appears to have cost him a place in the DC film universe. Honestly, I wouldn't hire him. You know, if he's going to cost... My biggest issue is if this guy was coming to me for work, I would say, what happened? Tell me exactly what happened. I want to know, none of this beating around the bush. I want to know exactly what happened, because if he's just doing all of this for clout, which some people think he is, I'm a little bit more open-minded. I want to know what happened, because I've had plenty of times where I've worked for assholes, right? And, you know, they could be A, B, and C, but I don't like the way he's handling it by not giving out information. And if you signed whatever kind of NDA and it's just, he explains everything to you because maybe there is something where he can't name names or something. I don't know why he can't name names or anything like that, but I would need to know that. And I just want to know what the fuck happened. We haven't gotten there yet. Borgport, thank God the SJWs didn't cancel Speedy Gonzalez. No Latin people wanted him canceled anyway. Mexicans love him. They do. Speedy Gonzalez is awesome. I just, all of this stuff with the cancellation of cartoon characters blows my mind. And it's like, Speedy Gonzalez, I don't think is a racist character. Like, there are some characters that I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, that doesn't fly today. But characters like that, I mean, I don't see what's wrong with Speedy Gonzalez, but we'll see what's gonna happen in the future, because they're gonna end up canceling everything. That's what I fear. Gotham Knight, thank you for the super chat. What happened with Ray? I'm a bit late. Nobody knows. This article is supposed to tell us what happened with Ray. I haven't gotten there yet. So we're going to keep reading. But thank you for the super chat. Speedy Gonzalez is uncancelable. I hope so. I don't want him canceled. Okay. Here we go. Now, in many hours of conversation, Fisher tells his side. Finally! Much of his previous reluctance to spill out the story, he says, arose because he didn't and still doesn't want to expose the identities of others who shared their stories with him and investigators. I'm not looking to have any witnesses lose their jobs, he says. Okay, so don't name names. Make up names and change a little bit of the scenarios. It's very simple to do. I've told a few stories on my channel where I have changed the names and changed a little bit of the scenarios when I'm not telling my personal story, when I'm telling something about someone else as an example. You can do that just fine. Oh my goodness. Also, there's over 500 people watching. Please smash the like button, please, and thank you. That would be awesome of you. All right, here we go. Those include some who wouldn't seem to have any worries about job security, Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa. Others who were not involved with Justice League also spoke to Fisher, and in some cases, the investigators about experiences with Whedon. I see 2 super chats came up, so I will read that once I'm done with this paragraph. They include Charisma Carpenter. Who the hell is that? Who's Charisma Carpenter? Is that a person? Let's see. Who's Charisma Carpenter? Who is this? I have no idea who this lady is. Oh, she was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I need a better picture of her. Is that her name? Oh, this chick. Okay, I know who this is. Her name is Charisma. That's not a name you hear very often. It's definitely a word you hear very often, but I've never heard somebody... also, I'm bad with actors and actresses' names. If they're not in Star Wars, I probably don't know their names. Who recently wrote on social media of Whedon's alleged abusiveness on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and individuals who have worked with Johns on the Sci-Fi's Krypton. Okay, but what abusive? Is it they're calling you an asshole? Are they physically hurting you? Are they making you work ridiculously long hours that are not in your contract? I want to know the specifics on what this abuse is. And let me read these super chats that came in. Snartic on DM, thank you for the super chat. Cecil is a Sith. He is the master. Peaches is the apprentice of love. No! Peacel will rule the universe. No, it's not. Peacel is not happening. Stop trying to make Peacel happen. It's not happening. Shane, Kina, thank you for the point I'm making is that the origins for well-known heroes is due diligence as a director-producer, even if everyone knows. The one that doesn't get left out and you avoid any plot holes later on. No, I see the point you were making, and I agree to an extent. My point, though, is that Marvel did that. And so I think DC has really wanted to not be Marvel. I think that's why it could be just Zack Snyder. It could also be the studio edging for that. But Marvel is bright and colorful and funny, and DC now is serious and depressing, and they're taking all the color out of things and making it ugly. So the point I would say is, well, if you want to do that, you can do it the way I explained it. So that was my point that I was making. You can do the opposite of Marvel, but still piggyback on that, that revenue that they see Marvel making that they want to make as well. So that was my point. You made a valid point. I was just explaining my my idea on it as well. All right, let's get back on this. All right, here we go. Fisher got Warner's to start an investigation more than 2 years after the first version of the film was released, but he soon found the process to be suspicious. Why? What happened? The studio and its parent company seem to be focused on protecting top executives, he says. Okay, so see, that's bad. This is bad, and that's alarming. Russell Hall, thank you for that. No one needs to make peace will happen. It is what it is. It's not happening, and it isn't anything. I shouldn't have never told that damn story. Jose Quintana, thank you for that. Anna, I noticed Leia's diction accent changed in episode. Let me see. In episode 4. She first spoke to Vader and the other Empire official in a specific British accent. Did you ever notice that? I never noticed the British accent. I did notice that she has a kind of crispness to her voice, if that makes sense. And she says words a certain way, but I never noticed a British accent. I don't know, maybe I didn't hear it. Maybe it's a different version of the movie I haven't seen, because I watched the old one on VHS, like the one when you see the Emperor, and when you go and Google like the Emperor and what his first makeup was, that's the version of Star Wars that I watch. And then I had those special edition ones that are in when they came out with the gold box, and there's a gold box and a silver box, and the full screen versus the widescreen. We had the gold one because my mom didn't like widescreen movies. So those are the ones that I watch. And I don't know if maybe I've seen like the clips of things that are different, but I haven't sat down and watched one of the newer versions that have come out. Those are the two that I watch. But thank you for the super chat. I think I'm all caught up, so let me continue. The process moved in stars and okay, the studio and its parent company need to focus on protecting top executives, he says. The process moved in starts and stops, and when he felt forced to ramp up his public protest, the studio responded with what Fisher calls a deliberate smear. Warner's maintains it has done everything necessary to address Fisher's concerns. He still wants an apology. Okay, so if I was in his situation, you know what I would have done? And he's done it before, where he's posted, where he did something where he had a bunch of screenshots with like a list of things. I would have done that. I would have just said, all right, you guys, this isn't a proper investigation, and this is how I feel about it. And if everything that he's saying is true, if they take him to court, then I don't think anything would happen to him, because he wouldn't have, if he's not lying, he has nothing to lose, right? He's already been mistreated. There's some kind of racism going on. So why doesn't he tell everyone? I would have said, well, then fuck you guys. If you guys in this investigation are just protecting the executives, then fuck you. You're not trying, I'm your employee that I thought you guys had my back. You obviously don't if you're protecting A, B, and C people, which you rank as higher status than me. And I'm not as, valuable to you and your company. So fuck you. I'm going to protect myself. If I were him, I would write out the entire story, make sure it's very clear, make sure dates are right. And if you have any type of screenshots or anything like that, post them and say, hey guys, this is what happened, and just fucking call them out. That's exactly what I would do. As long as it's not breaking any NDA. If it's just like, hey guys, I was treated this way, and say exactly this. The studio and its parent company seem to be more focused on protecting top executives than the truth, than actually going through with this investigation. And so this is my side of things. Make sure he's got a good fucking lawyer, and just do that. If there is racism, if there is abuse, if, of that kind, people are going to see that. So I don't know why he didn't do that. Instead of just like saying, oh guys, hey, something happened, but I'm not going to tell you what happened. But let's see, because apparently he opens up. We haven't gotten to that yet. The process moved in. I think I read this. He still wants an apology. Joss Whedon's on-set treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. He was enabled in many ways by Jeff Johns and John Berg. Accountability over entertainment. Okay. So have that, and then have a screenshot, or have, I don't know, something like from her. He's done this before where he's written something out in his like notes or in like an email, and he posted that along with whatever whatever space of characters you're allowed for a tweet. Why didn't he do that and explain what happened? In May 2017, Fisher was walking into a movie in New York when he got a call from Zack Snyder that left him stunned. Snyder was leaving Justice League, citing his daughter's suicide. Sources say Snyder was under enormous pressure at the time. The studio was unhappy with the reception and box office performance of his previous film, the bleak Batman vs. Superman, and with Justice League footage already shot, now insisted on a lighter touch. Warner's also asked Snyder to produce a 2-hour cut that he had a wrenching time delivering, though eventually did. Ultimately, Snyder left, and Whedon, who had written and directed Marvel's The Avengers and had already been brought in to help brighten Justice League's tone, took the helm. All right. So that's what happened. That's all been well documented. All right. The Justice League that Fisher had signed up for was a far cry from the film that Whedon ended up finishing. Snyder and Fisher talk at length with screenwriter Chris Terrio before there was even a script. Zack and I always considered Cyborg's story to be the heart of the movie, Terrio says THR. Why? I remember it being a little part. I don't remember it being... I don't know. I watched that movie when it came out, and I haven't watched it since. Everyone's like, Anna, did you watch the Snyder Cut? I'm like, no. Why would I spend 4 hours watching a movie where Henry Cavill does not have his shirt off for the 4-hour duration of it? Why would I do that? If I wanted to watch the Justice League, I have the cartoon. The Justice League Unlimited and the Justice League Animated Series are right there available to me. I have watched it plenty of times. It's fucking great. Absolutely fantastic. And in it, Superman is actually Superman. Batman is actually Batman. I don't have politics getting shoved down my throat. I don't have to... I mean, well, what happened in that movie? I'm trying to remember. I remember Gal Gadot walking around along the river talking to someone. I like the... You know what I did like about Justice League? I like the scene where Jason Momoa is talking and he's embarrassing himself, and then you realize he's leaning up against the lasso. I really enjoyed that scene because I was like, why is he just talking like this, I appreciate all the scenes that Henry Cavill was in without a shirt. And everyone's like, Anna, didn't you get distracted by the lip? And I'm like, I wasn't looking at his face. His shirt was off. Everyone's like, the bad CGI. And I'm like, I didn't notice it. So maybe my mind's just in the gutter there. But I don't know. How was it I would say maybe I need to watch this movie again, but I really don't want to. And I've been very vocal about how I am not a fan of Zack Snyder movies. And honestly, it's just not my thing. But the thing I will give Zack Snyder is that he knows how to cast very pretty men and accentuate the fact that they are very handsome men. I sincerely appreciate that. 300, everyone's like, oh, the epic battle scenes. And I'm like, I mean, they were jumping around and it really, his leg when he, kicks and screams, "This is Sparta." I mean, that was a good leg, it was a great, that is fantastic. A+++. I wish there wasn't the word filters on it, but I appreciated it. That stuff, it's like, it's a movie that, typically you would think would have a bigger male audience, but I'm telling you right now, my mother has had one of those cardboard cutouts of, King Leonidas from 300 since that movie came. So a lot of women sincerely appreciate what Zack Snyder does for us, which is cast very handsome men and accentuate their handsomeness. I sincerely appreciate Henry Cavill. And that man could wear a paper bag and I'd freaking appreciate it. But I sincerely appreciate, Everything that he wore and didn't wear in the Man of Steel and then in the Justice League. I appreciate that. I really like that. I think that was an A++. And again, with the CGI lip thing because of the mustache, my thing, it's like, well, he died. So why wouldn't his hair just build that into the plot that when he was dead, his hair grew, and so have him have that. That's what I would have done. And I mean, you could have written that in where Lois is like, oh, you came back to life and you have a mustache. And he's like, yeah, I tried shaving, but the laser, because what he usually is, there's different versions on how Superman shaves his face, but I like the one, the John Byrne one, where he has to use a mirror and he put his laser and it reflects, and so his laser is cutting his beard, and he could a throwaway line where he said, oh yeah, I tried to shave but I ran out of time, I wanted to see you, and he's like, I thought it looked funny, he's like, I died so I wanted to make you laugh, something like that could have worked, right? But again, I didn't really notice the CG because I was not looking at his face. But that's just me. Anyway, let's get back into this. I don't know why I got on that topic. Maybe I just wanted to talk about Henry Cavill. Yeah, he can bow to heat vision off the mirror to shave. Yes. See, it's stuff that you don't think about until it's like, how does Superman shave? Because a razor, a bullet doesn't even penetrate his skin. So how the hell is he going to get, a razor to shave his face? It must be a big ordeal. You know what we all should really be asking? How does Supergirl shave? Those girls' legs. Oh my God. Mike Schumacher, thank you for that. Hey, Anna, where is the actors union in all of this? Isn't that their job to protect the actors? That's a good point. I don't know enough about that. I think my friend Jesse Milestone might know about that. But as far as I'm aware, I don't know about that. Thank you for the super chat. Samuel Diaz, thank you for the super chat. Blade, Meteor Man, Spawn, and Steel was all black-led superhero movies. If they are saying the DCU, then don't bring up Marvel. Good point. Very, very good point. I feel like there's more that I'm just forgetting. And I mean, that's just men. We can go on for days and days about, all of the female characters that were played by black women. Let's see. A Protect Star. Oh my God. Who is this? Really, guys? Protect Star Chuck. Thank you. I got Cecil Peach's tickets to Sandals, Jamaica. Well, thank you for the super chat. That is a funny account. Oh my goodness. Mikey Guzzler, thank you for the super chat. Warner Brothers didn't want Superman to have a beard and mullet, even though Snyder and Cavill wanted them to. Yeah, I think I remember hearing something about that. They should have just said, fuck it. At that point. And why wouldn't they? Because here's the thing. Every single, few months, here's the thing. Remember how I said, when I was a little girl, I loved princesses and princess dresses. I'm still a full-grown woman, and I still like princesses and princess dresses and all of that stuff. So Disney, every season, they come out, whatever princess dress they have, let's say it's Cinderella's princess dress. Okay, well then this princess dress that they sell in April is going to be a completely different design than the one that they sell in November, because they change the style for the season. So that way, if a little girl comes and wants a princess dress, it's not going to be the exact same one, because if they just kept making the same dress over and over again, well, parents aren't going to buy it because it's the same thing. So why wouldn't you piggyback on that and say, okay, well, this is another action figure you can make. This is a new t-shirt you can make. Because Superman has a new look, people are going to want to purchase that. And there are some people that collect things, and they're going to want to have every single version of Superman. So they lost a lot of money by not doing that. But I mean, they don't like money. They have proven that very, very abundantly so, that they do not like money. A lot of companies now are doing that. It's like, oh, this can make us a lot of money. Let's not do it. Let's not do it. It blows my mind. Gotham Knights, thank you for the super chat. Zach wanted to add the long mullet, but couldn't. Well, thank you for that, everyone. You see, the beard, I'm okay with. The mullet, I don't know. I love Henry, but I don't know if that look would have worked on him. Russell, I think we should bet Supergirl's blonde, so it's less of an issue than, say, Wonder Woman. Either way, has been stated they'd shred any man who tried to get with them. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about like their legs, right? Because I mean, if I don't shave my legs after, well, I mean, they might not be as hairy as I am, but it's like if I go like a day without shaving my legs, it's like prickle heaven. I'm like a cactus. So I'm like, imagine Wonder Woman, right? Jedi Shredder, thank you, Jet. Choose only one: Henry Cavill Superman or Henry Cavill Geralt of Rivia. I don't know. Well, Henry is technically more naked as Geralt of Rivia, but the blonde hair and the gold, or I guess the white hair and the gold eyes doesn't do it for me, because when Henry is playing Superman, he looks more like him, right? Whereas, I don't know, that bathtub scene was glorious. And okay, I gotta tell you guys, I didn't think that high-waisted pants would be a flattering thing for men, but oh dear Lord. When you see Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia and he's got like the sword and he's doing the fighting and it's like the high-waisted pants that are tight, so it like shows like his like torso, and it's like highlights his, and it's like, oh my God. It's very nice to look at. And oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know. It just he looks great as both, and I can't choose either. I can't choose, because it's like Henry Cavill is, basically naked, but he's got like all these fake scars and he's all muscular and all of that. But but Superman is hot too. So it's like, because it's Henry, but I gotta change the subject because I'm not gonna be able to finish my sentences anymore because I'm gonna start crying. Thank you for the super chat though, Claudio. Thank you for the super chat. This universe is so broken, just let it die. But I want to look at Henry. I want to look at Henry. Russell Hall, thank you for the super chat. Geralt wouldn't kill you during sexy time. Well, if I had gold kryptonite next to Henry as Superman, I mean, you wouldn't die either. You just get kryptonite close by, right? Or you just go to a planet that doesn't have a yellow sun. Thank you for the super chat. Now everyone is laughing at me because I started talking about Henry. Let's not distract me. We got to read this article because I got to find out what the fuck happened. Also, there's over 500 people watching. Please smash the like button, please, and thank you. Okay, here we go. All right. Ontario says he and Snyder took the portrayal of the first black superhero in the DC film universe very seriously, adding, with a white writer and a white director, we both thought having the perspective of an actor of color was really important. And Ray is really good with story and character, so we became a partner in creating Victor, referring to the character's given name. Okay. Well, honestly, with that, because, okay, so I'm blanking on his name right now, but there are some people that don't want to be, it's like typecasting for actors, right? But then there's also typecasting for writing. So there's some writers, like comic book writers, that are black, and they don't want to be just the person that writes black characters. They want to be able to write whatever characters that they want. And so with this, I don't think, and me, because I'm not a racist, I think if you're trying to tell a story from a certain character's perspective and you are nothing like that character, but you're able to write this character in such a successful way that it makes people that are, look nothing like you, that have no, not an ounce of similar backgrounds to that character or cultural, cultural similarities, but you're able to make somebody that is the exact opposite of you relate to somebody, again, that is, that are exact opposites. I think that that's fantastic, and that makes you a successful writer. So when it comes to stuff like that, I'm like, couldn't they just be good writers? I mean, and being able to go and like do research and ask certain people certain perspectives. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you want to write, a character that lived back during a certain time period, obviously you can't, ask somebody that lived back in that time period. And so you have to go and do research. But if it's like, if you want to interview somebody that I don't know, grew up in, I don't know, this neighborhood. Okay, well, and then you want to see what that's like. Okay, then go there, interview people, live there for an extent, and get that type of experience. It's like when Heath Ledger was, going to be the Joker, he, locked himself in a hotel room for 30 days and just experimented with, I guess, different drugs and did mental stuff. And I've heard different things where it's like, no, he didn't use drugs. And then I've heard other stories where he did use drugs. I don't know exactly what happened. All I know is that performance was fucking fantastic. And then, you have the exact opposite where during Silence of the Lambs. So Hannibal Lecter, for Anthony Hopkins, he doesn't do any research. What Anthony Hopkins does, because he says in any interview, you'll see, he's like, I don't need to do any research because everything I need to know about my character is right there in the dialogue. So what he does is he says all of his lines 250 times. And so that way it becomes natural. And by learning what this character would say in response to somebody else, that tells him everything he needs to know about his character. Whereas the exact opposite with the actor that played Buffalo Bill, he went and he, did all kinds of research on different types of psychopaths. He did, research and he interviewed people, or he went and, asked questions and got his answers for, different psychologists or therapists that work with, the mentally disabled, or, even people that are locked in penitentiary. So the exact opposite type of acting style and the way that they went about approaching things. Well, you could do the same thing with writing, but with stuff like this, it's like, well, the assumption that a white writer can't write a black, or white writer and director can't write and direct a black character. Could you imagine if somebody said that and said, well, a black writer and a black director can't write and direct a white character? It's okay to say one thing one way, but it's not okay to say it in, the exact opposite. That kind of blows my mind. But I don't see how this has anything to do with what the issue is, but we haven't gotten there yet. So let's see. When new filming proceeded under Whedon, says Fisher, he came to feel that he had to explain some of the most basic points of what would be offensive to the black community. Okay. After Fisher's reps were told that Whedon planned to make major revisions to the film, he flew to New Jersey to meet with the filmmaker in LA. When the two met at a bar, Fisher says Whedon was tiptoeing around the fact that everything was changing. As he left the meeting, Fisher was handed a revised script, which he read twice on the plane back. Gone was Cyborg's traumatic backstory, his relationship with his mother, whose loving scenes with her son were eliminated, as was the accident that killed her and led to his transformation. The material was later restored in the Snyder Cut version of the film that streamed on HBO Max. Okay, anyone in the chat watch it? If anyone in the chat watch it, let me know. Was that actually in the movie? And was it good? And was it not good? I'll see. Anyone in the chat watch the... Yeah, he's finally talking. I know. We're finally getting to it. So his scenes would cut out with his mother. Okay, it was. Was it good? Okay, it was in the movie. Was it good? Did it add to the story? I liked it. Okay, so it was good. Yes, it was good. Okay, it was excellent. Okay, it added to the character. Okay, awesome. Okay, that's good to hear. All right, so this is accurate. It represents that his parents were two genius level black people, Fisher says. We don't see that every day. Two genius level black people? Well, George Lucas's wife is, she's freaking smart and she's black. Obama and Michelle, they're both black and they're very successful people. Neil deGrasse Tyson is black and he's a very successful person. And I would say genius level. There's plenty of that, but all right. What does it say, Sketch? Cutting him hurt the movie. He should have said that instead of making it about the race. Oh, okay. I see what you said. So it did hurt the movie that wasn't in there. Maybe I should watch it. Maybe I should just see. A Gotham Knight thing was that the movie is better in tone than Batman versus Superman and MOS. Okay. Do I need to watch this now? I don't know. If you guys tell me to, I guess I can watch it. I just don't want to. Should I just live stream my reaction? Should I have it on and have headphones on and just sit here? Night King, thank you for that. Super short though, like 20 minutes long. Well, this doesn't seem like it's gonna be a long scene, you know. It seems like its own, because I mean, the Flash had a little bit with his dad. Yes, watch it. No. Too long. Well, I guess I could do it in parts. I could do, I don't know, where I watch 2 hours, then another 2 hours. I don't know. If you guys want to, I guess I can. Because I don't want to watch it. I really don't. But I mean, you guys might just laugh when I just drool over. Watch Mahler's video. It's better than the movie. Well, a lot. His solo video. I mean, all of his videos are probably better than the movies. Watch it in 2 sittings. I don't have HBO Max though. Let's see. Also, there is over 600 people watching. Thank you so much for being here. Please smash the like button, please, and thank you. All right, here we go. Let's finish this. Whedon sent out an email asking for questions, comments, or fulsome praise by Fisher. Says it became clear all he was looking for was the fulsome praise. Trying to strike a jocular tone, Fisher responded that he mourned the loss of Cyborg's material, but was moving on. He said he had notes to avoid issues in terms of representation of the character, but in a call with Whedon, Fisher says he had barely started to talk when the filmmaker cut him off. It feels like I'm taking notes right now, and I don't like taking notes from anybody, not even Robert Downey Jr., he said. Okay, so all this makes me think is that Joss Whedon is a fucking asshole. Like that. That's all. I mean, he could have sat there patiently and said, listen. I mean, he didn't even have to listen. He could have zoned off and just sat there silently while Ray Fisher just said whatever he wanted to say and just said, okay, but we're not going to do that. Like, that's all he had to do. But I guess Joss Whedon is an asshole. Tinsto, thank you for that. It's already divided into parts. Oh, well, that's convenient. I guess I'll just do it like that then. Flubber11, thank you for the super chat. Watch just the cyborg stuff. The rest is garbage. Oh, the cyborg stuff is the only good stuff in the movie. But I want to see Henry. To watch anything with super chat. Mahler destroyed the Snyder Cut. LOL. I'm sure he did. Maybe I should just watch Mahler's video. I guess I can. He said other sources on the project say Whedon is similarly dismissive of Gadot and Momoa when they question new lines. So Joss Whedon is an asshole. That's what I'm getting from this. Mahler's Flubber11, thank you for the super chat. Mahler's vid is 2 hours short and 100 times better. Is it really? Let me go look this up. Let me go look up Mahler's video. I haven't watched Mahler's videos in a while. I don't get notifications for EFAP anymore. That's how fucked up this system is. Let's see. Mahler. Is it long? Why wouldn't it type? If you guys aren't subbed to Mahler, go sub to Mahler. Wait, Mahler took the time to do a 2-hour fucking video, but he hasn't had the time to finish his Force Awakens series. God damn it. Oh, it is. It's 2 hours and 18 minutes long. Let's see. All right. How many? Oh, it's almost at it. It's going to get to 1 million views. Congrats to Mahler. Let's see. Oh, I like how what I said is his pinned comment. If Mahler made this video so fast, why isn't he making more videos faster? And then he has a novel of why he can't make videos faster. Well, good on Mahler. Whoa, that dislike though. 30,000 likes to 3.9 thousand dislikes. I didn't know that many people could dislike a Mahler video. I had an opinion I need to share. All right. Well, I guess I'll bookmark this so I can watch it later now that I know that it's out, because I didn't know that Mahler made a video on it. All right. Cool. Thank you, everyone, for letting me know. All right. Here we go. Let's continue. Whedon declined to comment for this piece. Well, I'm sure he did. Snartagon DM thing with super. Oh, wait. No, I think I read that one. Why is that one popping up? Let me see if I can. Did I miss any while I was going on that little escapade? No, I did not. I think a new one just came in, though. And guys, I'm trying to do this new thing where I catch all the super chats as they come in. Gotham Knight, thank you for super chat. Watch the whole thing and share thoughts on it. Okay. Joshua L, thank you for super chat. about the 2-hour mark, they fight Steppenwolf, stop there and finish later. Okay. So I'm guessing Darkseid doesn't come in until later. Tuna, what do you think we should about? Whoa, Joss said white guy Robert Downey Jr. is more important than Ray Fisher. Ouch. LOL, just kidding. Well, it seems like he doesn't even care what Robert. Honestly, what this tells me is Joss Whedon thinks that he is God's gift to Earth, and he doesn't need to take any type of criticism whatsoever or any type of constructive feedback. Or maybe he just doesn't. I don't know. From what I've heard about Joss Whedon, he just seems to be an asshole, and he has his mind made up already. Fisher turned to Johns, who he said had presented himself as kind of mediator. But Fisher says his ultimate response was, "We can't make Joss mad." Publicist Howard Bragman, who represents John, denies that, but says John recalls suggesting any creative pitches should happen when Joss Whedon was not preoccupied, so he would be most receptive. Okay, so it seems like Joss Whedon is just an incredibly difficult person to work with, and the only time he's receptive to ideas is during certain times. I don't think that's unheard of in Hollywood. Once Whedon got involved, Fisher says that Johns told him that it was problematic that Cyborg smiled only twice in the movie. Fisher says he later learned from witnesses who participated in the investigation that Johns and other top executives, including then DC Films co-chairman John Berg and Warner Brothers Studio top chief Tommy Emmerich, had discussions on which they said they could not have an angry black man at the center of the film. John's rep responds that once the chairman of the studio mandated a brighter tone for the film and further discussion centered on adding joy and hopefulness to all 6 superheroes, there are always conversations about avoiding any stereotype of race, gender, or sexuality. Well, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know why people that work in Hollywood or work in this industry, I mean, you have to go through so much fucking training and, I wouldn't just say customer service, but you have to go through so much of like that sexual harassment training, this type of training. I would think that they would be a little bit more self-aware to not make a statement like that if they even did. But I mean, saying something like that, I mean, I would never say something like that, but that just seems like they're stupid. It doesn't seem like they're racist. It seems like they're stupid. And they're not, I mean, I don't know how to say anything more than that they're stupid. It's just, they're not the brightest bulbs. Like, I would have just said, well, we don't want to fall into certain stereotypes that, are offensive to people. That's all they had to say. Just exactly what I said for verbatim. Just say that without saying this. And you're fine. Avoiding any stereotypes of race, gender, or sexuality. There you go. But I mean, if they said that, I don't know. The woke mob is going to come for them, I guess. Johns told Fisher he would play the character less like Frankenstein and more like the kinder-hearted Quasimodo. Oh, no. Oh, now that's mean. That's not racist. That's just mean. Don't be Frankenstein. Be Quasimodo. Oh. Aw. Oh, my best friend Savannah, she loves Quasi. Aw. I like Quasi too. Did I move him? He used to be up there on my shelf. Aw. Aw. Somebody needs to Photoshop Cyborg's face onto Quasimodo. Aw. Fisher says that in order to demonstrate the look he wanted, Johns dipped his shoulder in what struck Fisher as a servile posture. To Fisher, there was a big difference between portraying a character who was born with a disability versus one who had been transformed by trauma. That's true. I mean, that is a good point. And that he felt Cyborg was kind of a modern day Frankenstein. No, because Cyborg is always happy though. Like, I don't know. I see Cyborg as a very, he's very energetic. He's always laughing. Maybe it's just because my stepdaughter, she loves watching that cartoon, and so it's like always on, and he's like the most yay energy, yay, happy. Look at this, look at this, look at this, and it's just like, oh my gosh, kids on sugar, right? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Then maybe I just got that idea in my mind from that. But I mean, and honestly, I'm not the biggest Teen Titans fan. Like, and I've said this plenty of times, like one of the reasons why I was never really a big Spider-Man fan is because I don't like immature, I guess, characters, because, you know, I'm still young. And when I was a kid, I liked adult characters because that's what you want to be, right? Because kids want to grow up really fast. They want to be adults. So I liked characters like Superman, like Batman, that were already adults that were established in their life, where Spider-Man was like, oh, you know, when I was a kid, the Tobey Maguire movies were coming out. So, you know, oh, he's still a teenager and he's still figuring out his life and he doesn't have his shit together. That never attracted me to certain characters. So when it came to the Teen Titans, I'm like, well, I'm a teen. I have all these problems already. I don't want to watch, you know, superheroes that have all these powers deal with it. I want to watch Batman, you know? So that was just me. But so Cyborg was never a character I was typically drawn to. But I'm sure that there's plenty of people that liked it. I didn't have any intention of playing him as a jovial cathedral cleaning individual, he says. Well, I mean, I don't think that they meant literally play Quasimodo. And that's just the Disney version. Did they specifically say you need to play Disney's version of Quasimodo? Because if you go watch the original Hunchback of Notre Dame, it is a very different movie. John's representatives responds, Joff was a note using a fictional character as an example of a sympathetic man who is unhappy and has an inclination to hide from the world, but one whom the audience roots for because he has a courageous heart. Aww, that's sweet. Aww. No, the big song in the beginning of the movie, that's so good. It's the music from The Hunchback of Notre Dame is so good when he's just out there, when he's singing the whole time about how he just wants to go outside. And I'm like, my heart, Quasimodo. That's actually a very good analogy. I don't see how this is offensive. Fisher told Johns it might be one thing for a non-Black person to write a character for a comic. Oh, sweet Jesus. But it was another for a Black actor to portray that character on screen. It was like he was assuming how Black people would respond rather than taking the advice from the only Black person, as far as I know, with any kind of creative impact on the project, Fisher says. Okay, remember when I was saying this? Okay, this is my rule of thumb. If you switch out the word white with Black and then you find it offensive, okay, it's probably fucking racist. So this makes me think, based on what Fisher is saying, that he thinks that white people are incapable of writing Black characters. So if you switch that around and say, well, Black people aren't capable of writing white characters because they can't relate to them, that's fucking racist, right? Like, everyone would think, wow, that's right, you're racist against Black people because you think that a Black person can't write a white character. But it's okay to say white people can't write Black characters. Come on. The only thing that I found racist so far is the stuff that he has been saying. Fisher says Johns did not yield. And also, can we just point out, what if Ray Fisher's ideas weren't good? Yeah, it could be one thing. Maybe they just have somebody that are, someone that is just completely, for whatever reason, they know the right people in Hollywood, they get these jobs, but they're really bad at their job, right? They can't write for shit. And so he's actually giving good advice and they're just not listening to his good advice. But let's just say for a minute, what if the advice he's giving them is really bad? And they were like, hey, we're not going to go that direction. We listened to you. We're not doing that. And they're just being nice by not telling him, hey, your ideas fucking suck. Because right now he's going off of the big assumption that he is the end all be all for the way Black people feel about things, which I think you probably shouldn't be speaking for an entire race of people, no matter what color your skin is. Like, I'm Portuguese. I don't speak for all Portuguese people. I'm a woman. I don't speak for all women, and I don't assume to, right? I can say what I think me and other women that I know would be offended by, or me and, you know, what other Portuguese people would be offended by. Like the term Portuguese, right? Okay, so I'm Portuguese, and all of us Portuguese people, when we go to like the festa, or we're having family gatherings and stuff like that, we joke. It's like, oh yeah, it's a Portuguese, right? You know, and I don't know a lot of people that know that. You know, I've never heard a non-Portuguese person say Portuguese. I wouldn't be offended by it. I think it's kind of endearing. But I mean, there could be a situation where that is, where somebody was using it as a derogatory term. Personally, I don't have, you know, I'm not a thin-skinned pussy, so I don't get offended by that kind of stuff. But I would probably laugh at that person. But as far as this, it's like, he's saying that a non-black person can't write a black character. Well, what if a white person said, well, a non-white person can't, or, you know, a black person can't write a white character? He would be saying that that's racist, right? But it's okay for him to say a white person can't write a black character. And again, we don't even know if his ideas were good. We don't even know. All right, let's continue. Fisher says Johns did not yield. That was the last creative conversation about anything that Geoff Johns and I had. I knew I was on my own, Fisher says. Johns' rep denies that he ever dismissed any comments, adding that Fisher knows Johns, whose spokesperson requested that he be identified as Lebanese American, had involved traditionally all white DC properties like Shazam, Justice Society of America, and others into diverse groups of heroes in his extensive work as a comic book author. What does that have anything to do with what we're doing? What did that have anything to do with the issue? There's some paragraphs that I would just cut out of this. Let's see. Also, I just want to touch on this too, because it's really irritated me. He's saying it's okay for them to do comic, like for a non-white person to write a character for a comic, but was another for a black actor portray. Like, I'm just like, I feel like he needs to have a conversation with Todd McFarlane, because is he offended that Todd McFarlane, a white man, created Spawn, who is a black man? Like, does he not see like how ridiculous? Like, come on. Oh, my God. I don't know. I feel like in Hollywood, you just either have to make everybody robots or everyone fucking aliens now. So that way this whole race thing doesn't come into play. And it's like, and then you can do complete colorblind casting. It doesn't matter. You're all robots or you're all aliens. It doesn't fucking matter. Oh, my God. All right. I read that one. Justice League producer Chuck Roven. That's an interesting name. A veteran on DC superhero films dating back to Batman Begins in 2005. Oh my God, that movie came out in 2005? God, I feel old. Says, I fully empathize with Ray, and his character arc was significantly altered and shortened. I've also collaborated with Geoff over many years and found him to be gracious and a humble man. Geoff took upon himself to put Cyborg in the Justice League comics in the first place, and was written more about the character than any other individual except for the creator. He loves the character Cyborg. Cool. All these tensions were playing out during an extremely stressful time at the studio. AT&T's $85 billion acquisition of Time Warner, which was announced in October 2016 but didn't close until June 2018, was still pending. Justice League was over $300 million proposition, and it was troubled. Warner's had not been able to match Disney's consistent success with Marvel movies. That's because they didn't listen to me. Nobody called me and asked me. I'm kidding. Fisher felt that some of the studio executives' decision-making was driven by fear of losing their jobs. The tension only escalated when the issue of having Cyborg say "booyah" arose. So, oh yeah, I heard about this, that he didn't want to say "booyah," even though it's his character's trademark expression. But anyway. That phrase had become a signature of the character thanks to the animated Teen Titans shows, but the character had never said it in the comics or in the original script. Fisher says that Johns had approached Snyder about including the line, but the director didn't want any catchphrases. He managed the situation by putting the word on some signs in his version of the film as an Easter egg, but Johns' rep says the entire studio believed the Booyah line was a fun movement of synergy. A fun moment of synergy. Fisher says he doesn't see the world itself as an issue, but he thought it played differently in a live-action film than the animated series. And he thought of black characters in pop culture with defining phrases. Gray Callum's What You Talking About, Willis, Jimmy Walker's Dynamite, as no one else in the films had a catchphrase. He says it seemed weird to have the only black character say that. I wouldn't say, I mean, just get rid of the skin color. Just say it seemed weird to have the only character, to be the only character to say a catchphrase. That's all he had to do. You know, it seemed weird to be the only character in the movie having a catchphrase. That's all he would have to say. Adding the race in there doesn't really have anything to do with the situation. And when you take a situation that is clearly not about race and you make it about race, I think we all know where the racism there lies. Because a normal person doesn't look at a person and say, oh, well, you know, yes, your attribute about you is, okay, yeah, you have, you know, you're black, you're white, you're Asian, you're Hispanic, you're, I don't know, you're English, you're Australian, you're something like that. That's an attribute about you. But when it comes to this situation, it doesn't really have anything to do with the fact that he's the only black character in the cast or in the Justice League. So it just seems he's just the only character that it would be weird for him to be the only one that has a catchphrase or that says a catchphrase. I don't think that would be a bad thing, because you got to think the animated show is for kids, right? And so if you are, personally, I've seen actors that do things because they are aware that they are important to children. And so they'll do stuff, or they don't mind saying goofy lines because they know it's going to be something that children will enjoy. I mean, heck, even, I'm not a fan of Batfleck, but even Ben Affleck, he wore the Batman suit for his kid's birthday party. And he said, when you watch the interview, he's like, yeah, it's one thing to walk onto a set, but when you're in full costume and like makeup and you go to your kid's birthday party with a bunch of adults, it's weird, you know? And so, but I mean, he did that because he knew it was going to make his kid happy. So there are things that people will do, you know, specifically for the kids. This is a catchphrase that, even though it's not in the comics, it's in the show and it's for kids. So think about a kid that was watching why am I blanking? Teen Titans show, and they're a little bit older and their parents are letting them watch the Justice League. Well, then this character that they grew up watching on this animated show, and they're seeing him in a live action movie, and he says the line that he said, that's going to be important to the little kid. You know, when you hear Luke Skywalker, or, you know, you hear Yoda say to Luke, you know, use the Force, or Obi-Wan, use the Force. And then you hear, you know, as a kid that watched, you know, the originals, and then the prequels are coming out, and then you see, you know, Qui-Gon saying it, use the Force. You know, it's important. That's like, yay, because I saw, you know, Obi-Wan and I saw Yoda, and I saw them say, you know, use the Force. And so now that the prequels are coming out, because I watched the originals when I was a very young child, and I'm a little bit older and I'm watching these movies and they're saying use the Force, it's important, you know, it's special. It's something that, you know, I would think you would put your ego aside and say, well, yeah, this is goofy, but at the same time, it's like, well, not everything's about you and your ego. You have to think about other people in the situation, because you're not making this movie specifically for you. You're making it for an audience. And even though adults might get irritated with it, you got to think at the same time, well, the toys, remember, we get told all over and over again, this is for kids, this is for kids, this is for kids. Okay, then why aren't you thinking about the kids? Right? You're making all of these toys, and you give people shit if they're an adult and they have toys, but it's for kids. Well, okay, guess what? Those kids, they want an action figure of Cyborg, and you have the talking ones where you push the button and it says Booyah, and it's Ray Fisher saying Booyah, and it's in the movie. Kids are going to like that, and they're going to want it, so mommy and daddy are going to buy it for them. I don't know. I think that this is a dumb thing to get upset about. But I do see the point. Like, yeah, I'm going to be the only character that says it, but then that's a glass half empty kind of thing, right? It's like, well, why am I the only person that's going to say it? And then, or you could look at it in an optimistic perspective where it's like, hey, this is awesome. Guess what, everyone? I'm the only character that says a catchphrase in this movie, and my action figures say it too. I'm special. I'm the only one, bitches. Wonder Woman, you didn't get a catchphrase. Superman, you didn't get a catchphrase. Batman, you didn't get a catchphrase. Guess what? I'm Cyborg, and I got a catchphrase. Booyah, baby. And here's my action figure. Buy it here. That's the way I would look at it. It's like, what's going to make me the most money? But I guess they don't think about that. They don't care about making money. It blows my mind. Sergeant Gondium, thank you for that. Cyborg saying booyah is like Cecil saying hello. Exactly. Just fucking say it. Just fucking say it. Anyways, I need to. Running out. Remember how I said you're going to see me, you're going to see my energy spike at one point? There you go. Also, there's over 600 people watching. Please smash the like button, please, and thank you. And if you guys aren't aware, I do have a secondary channel called That Star Wars Girl Live where I re-upload my live stream. So if you guys want, go check this out over there. It is just called That Star Wars Girl Live. It's very, very simple. If you guys want to find it, I re-upload my live streams over there. So let me get this little banner up here. And if my mods could drop it in the chat, that would be awesome of you. Oh no, did I delete it? Did I delete it? Here we go. There we go. All right, here we go. Back to this. With reshoots underway, Fisher says Whedon raised the issue again. Jeff tells me Cyborg has a catchphrase, he told him. Fisher says he expressed his objections and it seemed the matter was dropped until Berg, the co-chairman of DC Films and the producer on the project, took him out to dinner. This is one of the most expensive movies Warner has ever made, Berg said, according to Fisher. What if the CEO of AT&T has a son or daughter, and that son or daughter wants Cyborg to say, this is exactly what I just said. This is exactly what I just said in the movie, and we don't have a take of that. I could lose my job. Fisher responded that he knew if he filmed the line that it would end up in the movie, and he expressed skepticism that the film's fate rested on Cyborg saying booyah. I wouldn't say the fate. This is an insanely egotistical thing to say, that the entire fate of the film rested on booyah, because I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm not watching a Justice League movie for Cyborg. It's not a character I've ever felt connected with. It's not a character I've ever typically cared for. If it was a standalone Cyborg movie and Henry Cavill wasn't in it, I probably wouldn't watch it unless I heard people say it was really, really good and the advertisements for it were really, really good, right? You know, if the trailer's not good, I'm probably not going to watch it. But if it's a Superman movie or if it's a Batman movie, I'm going to go watch it because I like those characters. And I mean, again, like with the whole thing with the kids, if kids have been growing up watching Teen Titans and they like the characters, they like the entire cast or the, you know, all the characters or the ensemble of Teen Titans, and there's a Cyborg movie coming out, they're going to say, hey, Mom, Dad, I like that character because it's in that show I like to watch. Can we go to the movie and watch it? You know, parents typically they enjoy when their children are happy. I don't know any parents that are like, wow, I hope my child is miserable. Let me make my children miserable. I mean, heck, we just had Easter, right? Easter egg hunting. Parents do that and they do outrageous things to make their children happy. So if a little kid says, hey, I like this character from this TV show and Mommy and Daddy, can we go see the movie? I mean, there's a whole industry that's geared at making movies for kids because parents will take their kids to go see movies because they want their children to be happy. So with that being said, the movie does not revolve around Cyborg, but I can see how that would be a draw for children, you know, even though I think all children like the other characters as well. Dr. Coffin-Nails, thank you for the super chat. It was legit going to loudly demand my money back. I was legit going to loudly demand my money back had Cyborg not said booyah. Well, there you go right there. There you go right there. Claudu, thank you for the super chat. How does Fisher have this much influence? He is literally an unknown actor before he was cast he was cast of Cyborg, and any other actor would have been fired. That's a very good point that we have not gotten an answer to yet. Here we go. Arnold has "I'll be back." Iconic lines make people's careers. It does. It blows my mind. Hasta la vista, baby. Like, come on. All right, here we go. Let's keep reading this. But he shot the take. As he arrived on set. He says, Whedon stretched out his arm and said a line from Hamlet in a mocking tone. "Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounce it to you." Fisher replies, "Joss, I don't. I'm not in the mood." So Joss Whedon is an asshole. He's a condescending asshole. I don't think he's racist. I think he's an asshole. "I'm not in the mood." As he left the set after saying just that one phrase for the cameras, he says Whedon called out, "Nice work, Ray." So Joss Whedon is a fucking piece of shit. That's all. That's all we get. That is really fucked up. That he's a condescending asshole. I don't see the racism in it. We have established though, and just like what they said in the beginning of this article, their investigator went and interviewed like 80 people, and none of them, like, there was no racism found. This isn't racism. This is just, you're an asshole. Kind of continue to say that over and over again, aren't I? Even before that line was shot, Fisher's agent had called Film Studio Chief Emmerich to raise concerns about what was happening on set. After Fisher arrived in Los Angeles for additional photography in summer 2017, Johns asked him to come to DC offices in Burbank. When they met in a conference room, Fisher said that he had apologized to Whedon for his part in the conflict, which he had done in hope of preventing a real rupture with the DC team. Johns responded that having agents call Emmerich was just not cool. Fisher recalls he said, "I consider us to be friends," which he knew we were not. "And I just don't want you to make a bad name for yourself in the business." Fisher took that as a threat. John's rep says that he never made a threat, but told Fisher that the creative differences were not normally taken to the head of the film studios by an actor's agent. Okay, so Ray Fisher broke protocol, and the higher ups got pissed. How is this racist? Fisher was not the only Justice League star who was unhappy. Sources say Whedon clashed with all the stars of the film, including Jeremy Irons, and one Justice League star ended up taking her complaints not only to the head of the film studio, but also to the chairman of Warner Brothers. A acknowledged source says Gal Gadot had multiple concerns with the revised version of the film, including issues about her character being more aggressive than her character in Wonder Woman. She wanted to make the character flow from one movie to the next. Okay, again, how is this racist? Claudia, thank you for the super chat. "You got one thing wrong. This movie isn't for kids. It's for adults. Go watch your crappy childish Marvel movies, Anna. This is what Snyder fans say." I didn't say it was made for kids. I said when they get a little bit older, and if they watched this cartoon when they were little, if they watched the Teen Titans cartoon when they were a kid, and when they're a bit older, because they saw that movie when they were a kid, and they have that connection to the character, when they go see it when they're a little bit older, then they'll have that kind of, satisfaction of seeing that character. That's what I said. You might have joined the stream a little bit later, but I did say that. Go rewind the tape. All right, here we go. The biggest clash, sources say, came when Whedon pushed Gadot to record lines she didn't like, threatened to harm Gadot's career, and disparaged Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins. While Fisher declines to discuss any of what transpired with Gadot, a witness on the production who later spoke to investigators says that after one clash, Joss was bragging that he's had it out with Gal. He told her he's the writer and she's going to shut up and say the lines, and he can make her look incredibly stupid in this movie. So Joss Whedon is a fucking piece of shit. That's all I'm getting from this. He's not racist. He's just an asshole. That's what I've gotten from this. A knowledgeable source says Godot and Jenkins went to battle, accumulating in a meeting with then Warner's chairman. Oh God, I'm going to butcher his last name. Kevin asked for a comment. Godot says in a statement, "I had my issues with Whedon and Warner Brothers handled it in a timely manner." 3 months after Justice League hit theaters, Whedon exited Warner Brothers' Batgirl project. Batgirl is such an exciting project, and Warner's DC such a collaborative and supportive partners that it took me months to realize I really didn't have a story, he said at the time. No. Let's see. Claudio, thank you for the super chat. I misunderstood, but kids would want to see it. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I watched a lot of grown-up movies that I probably shouldn't have watched at a young age. Like I watched Jaws when I was way too young to watch that movie, and I'm traumatized by sharks, and I don't like going in the water by myself, especially, and I will not go swimming in the ocean. And I mean, I watched Alien when I was much too young to watch it, and Predator. I watched Predator before I watched Alien, and I loved it. I wasn't scared by it at all. That movie is fucking fantastic. It's one of my favorite movies. What other movies did I watch when I was way too young? I mean, I watched, I don't know, I'm not going to say that. Because it was poor traumatized Anna. Yeah, I did. I got traumatized by Jaws. I'm terrified. There's plenty of movies that I've seen that is, I should not have watched them at that young age. All right, where is this? When Justice League opened in November 2017, the film was panned. It has a 40% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and grossed a disappointing $658 million worldwide. Berg exited his job that December. Johns departed the following June. But Whedon was still part of the Warner Media universe in July 2018, a few months after he left Batgirl. HBO greenlighted his drama, The Nevers, straight to series, but in November 2020, just a couple of weeks before Warner Media said it had taken remedial steps after its investigation into Justice League, Whedon left that project too. HBO chief Casey Bloys has said that there were no complaints about Whedon's behavior on that series. This time, Whedon said he was not up to the physical challenges of making such a huge show during a global pandemic. Warner issued a clipped, "We have parted ways with Joss Whedon." After Justice League, Fisher went on to play oh my God, I'm going to butcher his name. Mahershala's Ali's son in the third season of True Detective. True Detective has a third season? I didn't know that. I liked season 1. Season 2 was meh. Which he calls a great experience, but in the coming months, really, I want to see this. Does True Detective have a season 3? I mean, it must have. Let's see. True Detective season 3. Oh, hey, it was. Oh, there was a True Detective. Was it good? Anyone watch it? Was True Detective season 3 good? Season 1 was fantastic. Second one, Pete Shap, thank you for the super chat. You are right, and hell with the haters. I apologize for my rude super chats yesterday, but I have strong compulsion to make Cecil laugh. It's okay. Thank you for the super chats, though. I understand. Cecil makes all of us laugh, so it is, oh no, it's not good. Season 3 is phenomenal. So somebody says it's good, other people say it's boring. It's all about, season 1 was fantastic. Season 2 was kind of meh. And, yeah. All right. Which he calls a great experience, but in the coming months, he would hear fresh reports about what had gone on behind the scenes on the Justice League, including the angry black man conversation and other allegations involving Johns. 2 individuals who worked on Sci-Fi's Krypton TV series talked to Fisher about the events that had taken place on the series. Let's see. Multiple sources tell THR that the show's creators were passionate about doing some non-traditional casting, and the Reggie Jean Page, who would go on to become a breakout star in what is this? Vertigon? I'm not even pronouncing this right. What is this? Let's see. What is this? Do I know what this is? How did I not know True Detective had 3 seasons? Okay, that was not what I would. Let's copy. Let's paste. No, let's paste. There we go. What is this? Oh, I hate this. I tried watching this. I could not get into it. Everyone's in love with this show. I couldn't stand it. Bridgerton. Bridgerton? Is that how you say it? Yeah, I did not like that show. Was that him? Jeremy Spears, thank you for the super chat. You watched Alien and now you shoot first and ask questions later after actual aliens say to you, we come in peace. Not cool, bro. I watched other Alien movies before I watched Alien, so I know to be aware. Oh shoot, Guardian, your super chat was missed. I'm sorry. I'll go back and look for it. 200 watts. Thank you for super chat. Joss lost his mind after Firefly was canceled, and Charisma Carpenter got pregnant right after. He's become a total prick, a typical creepy feminist ally. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Guardian Fortress. Let me see if I can find your super chat. I don't see it on here. Let's see if I can go over here and find it. I apologize. I'm trying to catch them all as they come. That way I'm not at the end and it just becomes boring. Just me going through a shit ton of super chats. I know people, they kind of tune out after that and I feel bad. Oh, I found it. Guardian Fortress. Thank you for the super chat. It didn't show up on my StreamYard. That's weird. Just to send monies. Also, you look cute today. Oh, well, thank you. Smiley face. I've been a DC fan since Batman TSA, and the others own a part of the universe. Well, thank you for the super chat. Oh, that was a while ago, though. But thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right, let's get back to this. Who would go on to become a breakout star in Bridgerton, had auditioned for the role of Superman's grandfather, but Johns, who was overseeing the project, said Superman could not have a black grandfather. The creators also wanted to make one superhero character, Adam Strange, gay or bisexual, but sources say Johns vetoed that idea. Okay. Well, here's the thing: if it's not going, if a character's sexuality isn't and changing it isn't going to enrich the character or the story, then why would you do it, aside from virtue signaling points? But for Superman, remember the whole thing, which I cannot for the life of me remember if it is done in the Snyderverse version. I remember the scene with all the babies, but Superman was born differently, right? From what I can remember, I don't remember if it's that way in the Snyderverse, but I remember specifically in the comics, it's different because Kryptonians, they have their babies differently than they have them. So they had, remember she actually has the baby where he's not in like that big vault of babies. See, he's a natural birth. But was that in the Snyderverse? I cannot remember for the life of me. Krypton's, first natural birth. But what was that? Was that in the Snyderverse though? I don't remember if this is in the Snyderverse. Oh, what's up, Drunk? Yeah, Drunk, I'm reading this. I did not have the Snyderverse. Okay, Kal-El was a natural birth. Okay, so that's why his grandpa has to be, that's why it's like, oh yeah, he looks like him and whatnot. Whereas Zod could be different. But again, that was a TV show versus the Snyderverse. So I saw Ray Fisher complaining about that on Twitter today. And I said, well, one is the Snyderverse, one is a TV show. So I don't know why you're even trying to make that, analogy. But it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why that's a complaint. Jeff celebrates and supports the LGBTQ. They need to add the plus. I always say the plus because they are always complaining about it on Twitter that it's got the plus. The LGBTQ plus characters, including Batwoman, who in 2006 was reintroduced as LGBTQ in a comic book series co-written by Johns, says Johns' rep in an email. Johns also pitched Warner's on developing a TV show around the first LGBTQ plus lead DC superhero television series, he adds. As for the role of Superman's grandfather, the rep says Johns believes fans expected the character to look like a young Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill. You said Henry. That's my favorite. Hello, Henry Cavill. Several sources who spoke to Fisher around this time were willing to talk to Warner's investigator. Among them was a writer, Nadria Tucker, who tweeted February 24th, I haven't spoken to Jeff Johns since the day on Krypton when he tried to tell me what is and is not a black thing. Oh, well, do you have evidence that he said that? That's kind of a weird, that's a very strange thing to say. Normal people don't say that. Tucker tells THR that Johns objected when a black female character's hairstyle was changed in scenes that took place in different days. I said black women, we tend to change our hair frequently. It's not weird. It's a black thing, she says. And he said, no, it's not. I would need to have more context to that statement. Claudia, thank you for super chat. Joss Whedon being a jerk. What a surprise. A guy who believes life is meaningless is a jerk. No surprise here. Does he say that? Does he say life is meaningless? Thank you for the super chat. 201 Studio, thank you for the super chat. Going to fancy dinner tonight, you look fantastic. Oh, well, thank you for the super chat. No, I'm not. I literally just woke up and put my hair in a bun because it's a messy rat's nest and I can't find my hairbrush. I have like 10 hairbrushes and I can't find any of them since I came back. I don't know where they are. So I just put it up and then I did my makeup like I do every day. But I did do my eyebrows. I haven't done my eyebrows in like a week, so maybe that's it. Eyes look amazing. And well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't do anything special. It's my same routine. I found apparently people like it when I do less makeup because I usually I used to really enjoy doing eyeshadow. I don't have any eyeshadow on. I just do like my eyebrows, eyeliner, and highlighter and blush. And I have like liquid lipstick on, but thank you. You guys are all very nice. Eyebrows on point. Maybe that's it. Maybe me actually where is it? I have this this little like zoom in mirror, right? And it like lets me basically see my pores, and that's how I do my eyebrows because they're pretty intense. Like all of the hair that was right here, I was like, Jesus, I'm starting to look like a character from Planet of the Apes. So thank you. Less is more. It is. I wish I would have known that when I was a kid. Because I used to think that the raccoon eyes was the best look. Oh, that's why I don't have a lot of old photos of me. Let's see. Let's see. Where was I? And I must say, though, that I have a lot of black friends that are women. And the weave, the braids, the fro, whatever they want. And yes, they do change their hair quite often as it fits. Honestly, my one friend, I remember I didn't know what a weave was when I was in college, and she explained it to me and like how they do it. And I was like, oh my God, they braid your hair and then they sew it in. I thought it was the most fascinating thing ever. As she was explaining to me how weaves work and then like the difference between a lace. I didn't know Beyonce's hair wasn't real. Like that's she's explaining to me that it's a lace front weave. And then we went through how going and looking at pictures and how when you have a lace front weave, like, you know, it kind of blends it in better than like a non-lace front weave. That's why you're able to see the line. And so she showed me like photos of how like Beyonce, when like your weave starts growing out, when it's lace front, it like pulls at your skin, and looking at Beyonce. And I was like, this is brand new information. I heck, even when I was in like elementary school, I remember my friend, I thought that braids were their real hair. And she explained to me, she's like, oh no, my hair's shorter than yours. These are just braids, and how you got your hair braided and they added in the extra hair to make your braids longer. I was like, that is the coolest thing ever, because I was little. My mom cut off all my hair, so I wanted long hair. Let's see. Claudio, thank you for the super chat. He said he's an absurdist. They basically believe what I said. Just angry people is what it sounds like to me. Okay, thank you. Blinken Brian, thank you for the super chat. It says, I stand with Ray Fisher. Ever Jans, thank you for the super chat. What is the argument if it was or wasn't a black woman thingy, or that if it just wasn't a Kryptonian thing? Good point. Good point. Maybe it had nothing to do with Kryptonians. Maybe it had to do with like the people on Earth. Is that what? I don't know what they're getting at, but I would say typically characters have the same hairstyle. I mean, even go look at Star Trek. But like one thing specifically I can think of is like they kept trying to do different hairstyles with Dax, but like different things, like with her ponytail. Like her ponytail would change season to season, but it was always the same slicked back hairstyle, right? Even when she took down her hairstyle, or took down her hair, it was still the slicked back thing. Maybe they just want to say that we want it to be the same look over and over again. We don't want the character changing hairstyles because it's going to change our marketing material. Jarn's spokesperson says, what were standard continuity notes for a scene are being spun in a way that are just not that are not only personally offensive to Jeff, but also people that know who he is, know the work he's done, and know the life he lives, as Jeff has personally seen firsthand the painful effects of racial stereotypes concerning hair and other cultural stereotypes, having been married to a black woman who he was with for a decade, and with his second wife, who is Asian American, as well as his son, who is mixed race. So that's exactly what I just said. That's exactly what I just said. I could have written this article. I'm just predicting all of this, right? Yeah, it just wants continuity. It has nothing to do, like I just said with Dax. They kept her hair the same for continuity, and also it has to do with marketing, right? You don't want to have to continuously change things, and he was painful stereotypes. So how is he racist? What is the racism in this? By late June 2020, Fisher went public with his dissatisfaction at what he viewed as Warner's inaction. For their part, Warner sources contended that Fisher was being manipulated by Snyder, who hoped to reclaim control of the DC film universe. Fisher says that the assertion that a black man would not have his own agency is just as racist as the conservatives Warner's leadership was having about the Justice League reshoots. I've been underestimated in every turn during this process, and that is what has led up to this point. Had they taken me seriously, as they should have from the beginning, they would not have made as many foolish mistakes as they did in the process. Snyder denies any role in influencing Fisher. So is this Fisher's statement? So he has a huge ego. He's basically saying that they should have listened to him because he is right about everything, is what I just got from that. Let's read that again. The assertion that a black man would not have his own agency is just as racist as the conversations Warner's leadership was having about Justice League reshoots. I've been underestimated at every turn during the process, and that is what has led us to this point. So because they underestimated him, it has led to this point. Had they taken me seriously, as they should have from the beginning, they would not have made as many foolish mistakes as they did in the process. So apparently he is right about everything, and every mistake they have made is because they did not listen to him. What a huge ego. All right. Tweeting footage of himself praising Whedon at Comic-Con in 2017, Fisher wrote, "I'd like to take a moment to forcefully retract every bit of this statement." Well, then why did you make it? His earlier words had been based on a studio supplied talking points, he says. In a subsequent tweet, he said Whedon's on-set behavior had been gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable, adding he was enabled in many ways by Jeff Johns and John Berg. He did not elaborate. Berg told Variety it was categorically untrue and that it was categorically untrue that we enabled any unprofessional behavior. He added that Fisher was upset about saying "booyah," a well-known saying of Cyborg in the animated series. Okay, now we're just backtracking because I already read this shit. I didn't read this paragraph, but I already read that. Why are we backtracking? Also, everyone, there's over 600 people watching. Please smash the like button, please, and thank you. I'd appreciate that wholeheartedly. Let's see. As Fisher continued to air grievances on... Oh, I didn't read that. Okay, I did read that. As Fisher continued to air grievances on social media and in some interviews, he began to suspect that when he tweeted, the studio would put out an announcement to distract from his message. On July 1st, the day that Fisher tweeted about Whedon's behavior, Deadline published an exclusive saying Warner's was making a live-action Frosty the Snowman movie with Aquaman star Jason Momoa. I didn't hear about that. Seriously? I'm Googling this. Let's see. Let me make sure I copied that. Let's see. Did he? Are they making a Frosty the Snowman movie with... Oh my God, it's real. Oh my God. Khal Drogo is going to be Frosty the Snowman? You can't be serious. What did it... Am I the last person to know this? Did anyone else know this? Is it... Or am I just crazy? Did I miss this? Do I live under a rock? Anyone else? Jason Momoa to voice Frosty the Snowman in live action pick for Warner. Oh my God, it's real. Oh, sweet Jesus. Really? Why? I mean, I guess there's a new Christmas movie, but really? A Hawaiian snowman. Momoa said it's fake? Okay. I mean, I really hope it's not real. Start to Gandhi, thank you for the super chat. Ray Fisher is nothing more than a failed wannabe Chadwick Boseman. He thinks he's bigger and more important than he is. If you disagree with him, you're a not C. Well, I will say he does seem to have a huge ego. Let's see. Voicing the iconic snowman. A few weeks later, Momoa pushed back on an Instagram post. I just think it's fucked up that people released a fake... Oh my God, so it's not real. A fake Frosty the Snowman announcement without my permission to try to distract from Ray Fisher speaking out about the shitty way we were treated on the Justice League reshoots, he wrote. Serious stuff went down. It needs to be investigated, and people need to be held accountable. Warner says the untitled Snowman comedy remains in development. Oh, sweet Jesus. Let's see. And I think a couple super chats came in, but they did not pop up here. It says, Evar Jams, thank you for super chat. Was the argument if it was or wasn't Black women thingy, or that it was or wasn't a Kryptonian thing? Oh, wait, no, I did read that. I get it just coming up. It came up on that screen, but I came up late, I guess. 2 Studio, thank you for the super chat. Bottom line, Joss is an arrogant dude. Fisher is an ignorant, arrogant one. Basically, it's that Joss Whedon is a fucking asshole and that Ray Fisher has a huge ego. That's basically what I've gotten from this article. I don't see anything that's racist. And I mean, the stuff that they did say, they haven't provided any proof that is, tipping that, like the angry black man thing. Well, they haven't provided any evidence for that. They just said that it happened. So I would want to see that, and why, instead of just saying, well, they're stereotypes and we don't want to, give in to those stereotypes because it's bad and it's going to get canceled, or we're going to get in trouble for it. I mean, here we go. Let's see. Where was I? In early July, Fisher spoke with Walter Hamada, who had taken the reins at the DC Films. He says Hamada called Joss an asshole. So basically what I just said, Joss is an asshole. And he said, I'm looking to get past anything to do with the Justice League. Joss isn't here anymore, and I don't plan on hiring him again. But according to Fisher, Hamada said he did not believe Johns had done anything wrong. I don't know John Berg very well. I know Joss was difficult, but Jeff Ray, he's really getting dragged through the mud, and I'm sure you're getting your share of hate too. Fisher responded, I'm fine with the hate because I know I'm telling the truth. He asked for an investigation. Later that month, the studio's HR department contacted Fisher. He says he spoke with 2 executives for about 2 hours. He adds that he offered specific allegations of abusive behavior towards himself and others and provided the names of some witnesses willing to be contacted, but he was wary. Cognizes that HR department are often known to show more allegiance to employers than complaining parties. He became even more suspicious, he says, when witnesses started telling him that they had not been contacted. Fisher requested an independent investigator and asked STAG. So this is the Actors Union, right? The STAG, or SAAGAF. TRA, to have a rep with him in the process. Is that what that is? Let's Google, because I'm not entirely sure. So let's Google this. Paste. What is this? The Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, and American. So yeah, so it's the STAG, right? So I don't. He probably should have had that from the beginning. So this was a super chat that somebody brought up earlier. So obviously this has been addressed. All right. In mid-August, Warner's HR exec told Fisher that an outside investigator had been approved, but his guard went up when exec said, "We really like him. We've worked with him before." Still, Fisher tweeted that that this represented a massive step forward. But then Warner's veteran told Fisher not to trust the investigation of a particular studio exec was overseeing it because that person had previously helped sweep misconduct under the rug. Well, is there proof of that, or is it he said, she said? Matthew Parrott, thank you, Super Chat. Just supporting the channel. I'm kind of new. This is the first time I've ever caught a live. Do you have a regular stream schedule? Oh, well, thank you for the Super Chat. So I do 3. I have 3 live streams that are regularly scheduled. They're not always on my channel. So on Wednesdays, I do the show called The Matriarchy, and it's with me and my friend Jessie Milestone. And it rotates between my channel and her channel. So that is usually Wednesdays at 3 p.m. It's either on my channel or on Jessie's channel, which is Mindless Entertainment. So we rotate between our channels. Then there is the Jack Show, which is Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it will either be on my channel, Cecil's channel, Kelsey's channel, or John's channel. And so we rotate. It was already my week. So this week it's going to be Cecil's channel. So that's Cecil Says, and that is Thursday night. Let's see. It says there was no matriarchy last week. I thought there was. I thought Jessie had, I thought I saw Jessie live streaming and it said the matriarchy on it. And then I'm on another live stream that is on Yellow Flash's channel. And so that show is called Flashcast, and that is on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday night. That's on Saturday night. So that is on Yellow Flash 2. That's on his channel. And it starts at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to go see, it just shows that I'm, a regular guest on. Those are the ones. As far as my channel, I don't have a dedicated day to do live streams. I guess I could if people wanted to. It's just kind of hard because it's always depends on my sleep schedule and if I'm going out of town or not. And also I do have, let's see, I don't have a dedicated live stream because sometimes when it depends on my work schedules, because sometimes I have to do, meetings and stuff and meet with, an art director or a team, or if I'm going to be the art director on a project, I have to get the information from my boss, and then she kind of tells me. And then if I'm in charge of a team, then I have to set up meetings and stuff like that. So I don't really have dedicated live streams on this channel. I mean, if you guys want me to, I can, but I personally think it's better if I just set up a stream an hour before I'm going to stream, and then everyone gets a notification. And that just has kind of worked better for me, because what if I have a dedicated show and I don't have anything, like nothing happens, so there's nothing really for me to talk about, So you could always plug your live stream channel, That Star Wars Girl. Oh, that is true. I do have a channel called That Star Wars Girl Live. If you are new to my channel and you haven't caught live streams, so my re-uploads, Matthew, are over on that channel. There's a banner going across the stream. So if you just type in, I'll get a link for you right now. That Star Wars Girl Live, which also, if you missed the link that I'm about to post in the chat right now, you'll be able to find it in the channel section of my main YouTube channel. So here is the link to my That Star Wars Girl Live channel if you want to catch my live streams if you've missed them. So yeah, there you go. There you go. It's right there. It's right there. But thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. What happens if you cross streams? Funny. Let's see. All right, but let's get back into this. Where was I? But when Warner's veteran told Fisher, okay, I think I read that one. When he spoke to the investigator, Fisher asked how many times he had worked for the studio. He declined to answer. Fisher asked who was overseeing the inquiry and said he would have an issue if it was an exclusive name, if it was the exclusive named, but by his contract. He still got no answer. Feeling that the situation felt pretty doggy, Fisher went no further. I would just have the representative from the film actor, the STAG thing. Don't forget the Jack Show. I did mention the Jack Show. I did. I mentioned the Jack Show many times, I think. Here you go. Wait, what? That Star Wars Girl. Where can I find the Vimeo face live stream? That was not on my channel. I forgot. I think that's on Kelsey's. That's on Kelsey Shannon's channel. Go over there if you want to see Cecil in the Venom mask. Let's see. On August 26th, the investigator provided a name, citing an attorney in the general counsel's office. When Fisher looked at Warner Media website, he found this individual was the only Black attorney whose headshot was visible. Why does it matter if the guy is Black? I don't understand. I would want the one that's the best person at the job. It doesn't matter if they're Black, white, purple, yellow, blue, green. It wouldn't matter. As long if they're the best person, I'm going to hire the best person. Start to go anything but bad. Talk to Shane about getting clones. It helps. True, right? Let's see. And in fact, that lawyer had nothing to do with the investigation. She handled matters for HBO, HBO Max, TBS, and TNT. Fisher wondered if naming her had been a simple mistake or a ploy to lull him into a sense of security with the idea that she might be on the same team as me simply by the way of her being a Black person. I don't understand. So they told him that this person was on it, but she wasn't. That's weird. K. Ian Hess, thank you for saying, hey Anna, hope you are well. When are you going to be on Friday Night Tights? I have no plans on being on that show. Usually Friday nights is my date night with my boyfriend, and so I haven't been asked to be on the show, and I have not asked to be on the show either. So no plan so far. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you for the super chat. Clone Shay Davis. Clones won't help Anna. She's too much of a mutant. That's true. That is true. I don't think they would be able to clone me. Feeling even more distrustful, Fisher continued to tweet, writing on September 4th that Hamada had thrown Whedon and Berg under the bus while covering for Johns. Unfortunately, it's not until I start talking about people specifically that needles start to move, he says. If they were going to continue to try to cover things up, I wasn't going to let that happen. Let's see. Fisher then got a call from Berg, who said he was sorry the actor had an appalling experience on Justice League and he hadn't been able to help, acknowledging that a bunch of straight white men had been running things. Wait, what? Who said this? A bunch of straight white men. Acknowledging that, it's not going to even think of it. You mean Cecil's boyfriend, right? No! Leave Peaches out of this. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Fisher sounds very paranoid. I don't know. Maybe. Straight white men had been running things. He says he hoped the studio would improve on that in the future. So who said this? Did Berg say this or did Ray Fisher say this? Let me read this again. Fisher then got a call from Berg, who said he was sorry the actor had an appalling experience on Justice League and he hadn't been able to help, acknowledging that. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is Berg said this, a bunch of straight white men. How does their sexuality or their race have anything to do with anything? I don't understand. Brain Shark, thank you for super chat. FNT over date night. I disagree with that, but that's just me. That's just me. Oh, now I get Snarkticon's DM's tweet. I like spending time with my boyfriend. If you don't like spending time with your significant other, you probably shouldn't be with them. Yeah. Acknowledging that a bunch of straight white men had been running things. He said he hoped the studio would improve on that and would improve on that on the future. Berg said he had spoken to the investigator at length and truthfully. I let him know that it did mean a lot, Fisher says. I'm not beyond forgiveness when it comes to this kind of stuff. It was a very big thing for him to do. No one else in the process has reached out at all. The studio, meanwhile, defended itself that day in a statement. At no time did Mr. Hamada ever throw anyone under the bus, as Mr. Fisher has falsely claimed, or rendered any judgments about the Justice League production in which Mr. Hamada had no involvement. The company said Fisher had refused multiple attempts by the investigator to contact him. Fisher saw that as a smear. Well, I mean, that's a very simple. There's a very simple way to prove that if it's a smear or not. And I mean, all it takes is the investigator with evidence that they tried calling him, they tried emailing him, and he didn't respond. It's very easy. Do you want to do? Thank you for super chat. What? I'm a new actor, and the director wouldn't take my notes. What? Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. So, who are all these? Oh, so this is Berg. I know that this is Whedon. And this is Jeff Johns. Okay. In early October, that's my birth month, top Warner Media execs spoke with Fisher and his team, including a rep from the STAG. Fisher's reps confirmed the content of the call. When Fisher pressed the question of how the investigator had come to provide the name of an in-house attorney who had nothing to do with the inquiry, Warner Media executive on the call responded that investigator had just pulled the name off the internet. Oh, shit. Well, that's not good. Brain Shark, thank you. Date night can be any night, but Friday night, but FNT Friday only. Well, Friday night is specifically put in. It's not every Friday night because sometimes Peaches has to go out of town because he's that's his weekend with his daughter. But again, even though it's my date night, guys, I'm not going to go on a show I'm not invited on. And I'm also not going to invite myself onto a show. If they want me as a guest, they will contact me and ask me if I would like to be a guest. That has not happened. So I'm not going to be on a show I'm not invited onto. You guys see how that works? And I kind of don't plan my live streams or my, I have my life and I do the stuff in my life, and I don't plan my, my romantic life and the things that me and my boyfriend do around a show I am not on, So, so that's how that works. But thank you for the super chats. Let's see. Anna, when will you be on MTV? They asked me, they wanted me to go on, and then they filmed me and my family, and they decided I'm too crazy for MTV. So I will not be on MTV. Let's see. So that's fucked up that they just pulled a name off the internet. So that's shady. So this is a problem. This is an actual legal issue that needs to be looked into, right? Let's see. K-Een Hess, thank you for the super chat. Sorry for starting that, Ella. It's no problem. It's not an issue. Don't worry about it. Anna will be on Hoarders. No, I won't. I hide my stuff better than the people on Hoarders do. Let's see. Christy Habegger, thank you. Whenever I read a name, I immediately want to, yes. Christy Habegger, head of communications at Warner Media and the company's top inclusion officer, said that the studio statement that Fisher had refused to cooperate with the investigation and had been based on third-hand information. The studio's communications department had been responding emotionally to Fisher's public allegations against Hamada, she said, adding, I think they believed what they were saying was true. Fisher wondered what anyone at the studio, which was obstinately the subject of the investigation, would comment at all. Brain Shark, thank you. Peaches out of town is code for meet up with Cecil. No, it's code for he has a child and he gets certain times to be with his child, and every other weekend is his allotted time with his child. And sometimes I go and sometimes I stay here and get work done. Let's see, but thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Anna is too crazy for MTV. I am. They filmed me. They did. I had a lady come out and stay, film me for days at school. You can ask people I went to high school with. It is real. And they decided I am too insane for MTV. Let's see. They also didn't think things through because I'll explain that later. It had nothing to do with this. Let's see. Responding emotionally to Fisher's public allegations against Hamada, she said, adding, I think they believed what they were saying. Okay. Pressed by Fisher, Habegger declined to say who at the studio who approved the statement, but she said she was furious when she read it. I have made 100% crystal clear to everyone in the entire Warner Brothers Communications organization that not a goddamn word can be said about Ray Fisher. Habegger said, if I catch anyone doing that, they're fired. Whoa, shit. She sounds awesome. Let's Google her. Let's Google Chrissy or Christy. Let's see. She should be saying this about, let's see, founder of Latina Magazine. Okay, we'll look Warner Brothers. Oh, I guess that is her. She wrote a women's magazine. Well, good on her. She's got her own wiki. She seems to be an established lady. Christy Habegger is the founder of a Latina magazine and currently is an executive vice president, chief enterprise inclusion officer at head of marketing and communications at Warner Media. Very established lady. Good on her. Spanglish. Isn't that one with, what's his name? Let's see. But, I mean, she's saying nobody is allowed to talk about that shit. Why can't Lucasfilm have that policy, so that way their stupid employees aren't losing the money every single day by insulting the fan base on Twitter. Good on her. Good on her. They want to say there's no women in Hollywood. There's no this, and this. It's like she started a Latina magazine that I have never heard of, and she's the executive vice president, chief enterprise inclusion officer, and head of marketing. It sounds to me like she's a very established lady. So all of them complaining about that is there's no women. Obviously there is. She seems to have made a very big name for herself. Let's see. Snartagon thank you. She owns her own wiki. She has her own wiki. So you have an IMDb laughing face, winky face. I don't have a Wikipedia, which I do not want one, so do not make me one. But we all know the shit with the stupid IMDb, which I'm still pissed off about. Let's see. Did I read this one? Yeah, I did. Is the subject of investigation would comment at all. Pressed by Fisher. Oh, I think that they're fired. So I read that one. Fisher says he asked for an apology repeatedly in the weeks that followed. Warner Media kicked around some language that he felt fell short. Ultimately, Hauberger told Fisher, I don't think that if people said something they believed was true, that there's an apology needed. Oh, shit. She's putting him in his place. Wow. After the studio put out the statement accusing him of not cooperating, what Fisher calls the hit piece, he asked for another investigator. Warner Media agreed to bring in Forrest, who they told him had handled the investigation outside of the CEO. Oh, I'm going to butcher that name. Fisher was initially optimistic, but says again he turned wary when Forrest, who is white. Could you imagine if it said who is black? They would be losing their minds and calling racist. Let's see. Led with the fact that she was an Obama appointee. So he has a problem with, so he doesn't want a white person handling this stuff. Could you imagine if a white person said, I don't want a black investigator? They would be losing their minds calling racism. But because he's black and he says, well, I don't want this person being my investigator because they're white. That's insane. Still, Fisher was somewhat optimistic because he believed Forrest's previous Shujara investigation had exposed alleged misconduct, but she told him that she hadn't completed the inquiry before Shuzara left. Instead, he left after THR published an article about his entanglement with aspiring actress Charlotte Kirk. Initially, Fisher was told Forrest would work alongside the original investigator. He objected, and the original investigator withdrew. In December, Fisher says that he and his STAG rep had a final conversation with Forrest, during which she said remedial action had been taken, some of which she said Fisher had probably seen, but she was not explicit. She had further remedial action would be taken, but again did not offer specifics, but she told Fisher she did not find evidence of racial animus. Warner Brothers chairman Ann Snarf said in a recent interview that the investigator found the cuts made in Joss Whedon's version of Justice League were not racially motivated, but Forrest didn't say that publicly. To Fisher, the information Forrest shared was so limited that it seemed the purpose was clear. She was only authorized by Warner Media to attempt to explain away anything to do with race. Warner maintains it has a complete confidence in the investigation process and her conclusions. Honestly, the only thing that has been an issue with race has been him pointing out the amount of white people. And well, so then the one about angry black men, right? But there's no evidence for that. That's just a conversation that allegedly happened. And this, like, everything else, again, if you switch out the word white with the word black and you find that offensive, well, then it's probably a racist statement to say, you know, it about white people. It's like, it's that token phrase. It's like treat people the way you want to be treated. If you don't want people being racist towards you, then don't be racist towards them, right? On the evening of December 11th, Warner's issued a statement saying the investigation was finished in what Fisher calls a Friday night news dump. Witnesses contacted him asking what had happened, but he had no answers. A week later, he pressed Hauberger and other execs for more information. They asked him to provide names of anyone who had told him they hadn't gotten closure. Fisher said he would not provide witnesses. Why not? Well, I guess it's to protect people, but still, at this point, it's just getting repetitive. There hasn't been any new information, really. As far as what happened, this is now just a he said, she said, jumble fuck. My energy is gone. We're almost done, though. The little scrolling thingy is almost at the bottom, so we're almost done. In February, he tweeted that Hamada was the most dangerous kind of enabler. Okay, let's Google Hamada. Do I know who this person is? Let's see. So that's paste. I don't even, what's the guy's first name? Okay, I guess that's just a map. All right, we'll figure it out later. Let's see. Most dangerous enabler who had shown that he would blindly cover for his colleagues and had worked with studios to destroy a black man's credibility and publicly delegitimize a very serious investigation with lies in the press. Fisher says he was referring to a September statement that Fisher had refused to cooperate with the investigation, which he feels Hamada must have known about in advance. Okay. I'm confused by this. Let me reread this again because I'm not understanding this. In February, he tweeted that Hamada was the most dangerous kind of enabler who had shown that he would blindly cover for his colleagues and had worked with the studios to destroy a black man's credibility and publicly delegitimize a very serious investigation with lies to the press. And then in parentheses, it says Fisher says he was referring to the September statement that Fisher had refused to cooperate with the investigation. So is that true or is it not true? Which he feels Hamada must have known about in advance. So this sentence I feel is kind of incriminating because he's upset that Hamada made a statement that he knew in advance that Fisher didn't cooperate with the people. Why wouldn't Hamada know that if he is in charge of things, why wouldn't he know that they're trying to do this investigation and the person that is making the allegations isn't working with them? He's not cooperating. So how is this? I'm confused. Delegitimize. Thank you. Thank you, Russell Hall, for the super chat. I see it now. My dyslexia is in full force today. I apologize. Let's see. I'm so confused about what the... So, again, this could be easily proven by the investigators if they have evidence of them emailing him, of them calling him, of leaving voicemails. He would have those voicemails, right? So if he's upset because Hamada made the statement that Fisher was refusing to cooperate, well, was he or wasn't he? If Ray Fisher says, no, I returned their emails, I returned their phone calls, here's all the evidence, then yeah, it's a smear campaign. But if he didn't, then why is he complaining? Why is it Hamada's fault that he said something that was true? And if it's not true, then prove it. Yeah, well, then show the evidence that it's not true. I'm so confused. The company responded with a statement from Forrest saying Hamada was credible and forthcoming and did nothing that impeded or interfered with the company's investigation. Fisher believes this missed the bigger picture. Okay, so then, so then he's just complaining. So the company responded and Fisher didn't respond back to them, right? So Fisher believes miss the bigger picture. While he accused Hamada of undermining and tampering with the investigation in a series of tweets, he says these were specifically in reference to the conversation he had with Hamada, in which the executive tried to dissuade Fisher from pursuing any grievances against Johns. Fisher does not, he says, believe that Hamada otherwise actively tried to interfere with the investigation. Sources at the studio, however, point Fisher's tweets as evidence of the shifting grudges and lack of credibility. Okay, so it wasn't about him saying that Fisher didn't cooperate. It's that he thinks that he tried to put a halt on the investigation and was protecting people. Okay. Before things had gone sour, Fisher was expected to play a supporting role as Cyborg in the planned movie The Flash in June 2020. Fisher says he had a call with director Andy, I don't know how to say this last name, that seemed positive, but the discussion hit a snag when Warner's framed a 2-week shoot as a cameo, offering only a fraction of what Fisher says he should have been paid for, reappearing as Cyborg. But late September, he was upset by press reports that he was demanding to double his pay. Ultimately, the studio removed the Cyborg role from the movie, citing a December 30th tweet. The studio said, given this statement that Mr. Fisher will not participate in any film associated with Mr. Hamada, our production is now moving on. Well, I mean, at that point, you reap what you sow. If you say, I'm not going to be associated with this person, and that person is working on a movie, then, I mean, that's his own fault. He's not included in the movie. Fisher says he wasn't surprised. When I first spoke up, I assumed there was no way these guys would allow me to do my job in peace, he says. Now working on an ABC anthology series, Women of the Movement, Fisher says he knew the struggle could be costly. I'm not so indebted to Hollywood that I haven't been willing to put myself out there, he says. I don't believe some of these people are fit for positions of leadership, says Fisher. Well, I think a lot of actors are not in a position to be giving advice on politics or legal advice or life advice or journalistic advice, you know? Let's see. Like, I don't, you know, there are some actors that are so out of touch with the way real life works. I don't think that they should be giving people advice on anything, you know? Let's see. Says Fisher, who explains he is not looking for anyone to be fired. I don't want them excommunicated from Hollywood, but I don't think they should be in charge of hiring and firing of other people. Fisher knows he's not going to win that battle, but he feels a point has been made. If I can't get accountability, he says, at least I can make people aware of who they're dealing with. Oh my, is that over? It's over. Holy sweet Jesus. Anna needs code red. I kind of do. I'm going to drink some more of this. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think after reading all of that? You just don't like actors or opinions because they don't agree with you. There's plenty of actors that agree with me wholeheartedly on certain things. There's some actors that I think are fantastic. And that they do great things for the world, and they do fantastic charity work, and that are very, very good people and very, very intelligent. There's a lot of actors that are not so much. I mean, look at Christopher Lee and his incredible life and all the things that he did. I have immense amounts of respect for him. Same with, oh my goodness. My brain, I just had a brain fart because I read this super chat mentally. Deanna, thank you for super chat. How bad do you think Picard season 2 is going to mess up Q? Oh, it's going to be fucking terrible. Thank you for the super chat. My heart is already broken for what I'm going to see. Snartacondi, thank you for the super chat. I just got here. Can you read it again? Thank you for the super chat, Snartacondi. There's no way in hell I'm reading that again. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Let's see. What does J Fighter 11 say? Ray Fisher is wrong to an extent and has no proof. No proof of almost anything. Warner Brothers is also wrong to an extent. Both are wrong. I don't blame Warner Brothers for firing him. Yeah, I think that there's shit on both sides. I think what it is, Ray Fisher has an ego and he's sensitive about certain things. He also, again, if you switch out the word black with the word white, or you switch out the word white with the word black, if you're saying, you know, as Ray Fisher, oh, well, white people writing black characters. And if you said, and he's fine with saying that, and, white people need advice from black people on how to write black characters. Well, if you said a black person needs advice from a white person on how to write white characters, he would probably think that that's racist. So it's like, hold people to the same standard that you hold yourself, right? And he doesn't. Koka Carey on 007, thank you for the super chat. How would Hamada know what happened during the reshoot if he just started a year after it to place? I'm confused. Yeah, it's confusing me too. And honestly, I have no energy for this at this point. I mean, maybe he had somebody tell him. Maybe he has an assistant that filled him in on everything that happened. Claudio, thank you for the super chat. Keanu Reeves is normal, maybe because he's Canadian and doesn't give a crap about this political talk. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, Michael, I'm going to address this. Ray Fisher has a legit complaint. Can you explain to me what you think his legit complaint is? Gina Carano tweets stupid stuff. She didn't tweet stupid stuff. If it's your opinion that she tweeted stupid stuff, then it's your opinion. But you could also say Ray Fisher tweeted stupid stuff as well. And I just read this entire article, some of which you can think is stupid, some of which you can think is not stupid. But like I just said, he's saying that white people need black people to help them write black characters. But could you imagine if a white person said that a black person needs white people's help to write characters, how they would scream that that's racist? So, but he's been saying that. And it's, if you switch out the word white with the word black, would you still be okay with it? And the answer is no, then it's a racist statement, right? And so Ray Fisher is making allegations without evidence. He claims he has evidence, but he doesn't show it. He's been saying this for years now, and he just finally said it. And again, I didn't see a link, or I didn't see any screenshots or any evidence. This is the bottom of the article, and there's no links to Works Cited at all to where I can find any of this information that they provided. I'm going to have to go look it up myself, which I think is a huge red flag. Gina Carano pointed out that certain things that she felt was important, and you have someone like Pedro Pascal, which really, how stupid this thing was, because it's like, okay, he posted a tweet calling half of America Nazis, and he didn't get fired. I think, and also it was a stupid tweet, regardless on if you agree with him or not. He posted a meme saying that, losers, saying that, okay, the Nazis were losers, the Confederates were losers, and then the Trump supporters were losers, right? And equating them as to all be equal. But he didn't take into account that President Trump, and I don't like to get into politics, but he was for the Republican Party, right? And you're saying that they're losers just like the Confederates during the Civil War. But who was the president that led the North during the Civil War? It was Abraham Lincoln. What presidential party was Abraham Lincoln part of? He was the first Republican president. So that meme in and of itself was stupid because whoever made it doesn't know their history. So it was just so incredibly idiotic. It didn't make sense. But he kept his job. Gina Carano, I mean, you can say she's a hero. You can say she's a villain. I think she's a good person that, was resharing tweets or was resharing memes or resharing pictures. But the thing that she got fired over was the exact same thing that the Auschwitz Holocaust Museum tweeted a few years ago. But the Auschwitz Holocaust Museum didn't get canceled for saying that, hey, the Nazis took over the media, which they did. You know what the Nazis did? They would buy up newspapers and they would try to twist people's mind based on their horoscopes. People read their horoscopes. Like me, I'm a Scorpio. I don't read my horoscope every day. I just think it's something fun, to joke around with and meme about, because most of the time it is pretty funny. But there's people that actually believe in astrology, And the Nazis used astrology to manipulate people. It was a real thing that happened. If you actually go and do the research and do a history lesson, you can actually go and find out this about, and I've been there. I went to a concentration camp. I saw it. I saw the actual posters that came out about the Jews, about the blacks, about the disabled. I saw the artwork that they had, that they, had artists come in, do drawings or watercolors of people in concentration camps as a way to manipulate Jews to get on trains, because it was supposed to be, you get on this train and we're going to take you to this happy community where you will be safe. And the way that they presented them in the media to people that were not Jewish, that was a real thing that happened. And in Gina Carano's, little image that she posted about how, the Holocaust just didn't happen overnight. It started with the Nazis manipulating people through the media to turn on their neighbors, which was what she tweeted. Whereas you have somebody on the opposite side of the fence, like Pedro Pascal, which I think I said earlier was Pablo Hidalgo, because I always get their names mixed up. You have Pedro Pascal who's saying that if you voted for this person, you're a Nazi. And then he said, the Holocaust, kids in Auschwitz during 1945, and showing a picture of the children in the striped pajamas at Auschwitz behind the barbed wire. And then it said America 2020. And it's not even a picture of America, but it's a picture of kids in cages. And so it's like, well, one is blatantly not true. The other one, you could get offended by it and you could not get offended by it, but it had a statement in it that was true. That is a thing that actually happened if you actually take the time to go and learn about history. I love history and I love learning about it, and one of the things that I loved about history is that history is, it's the same. Like it happened, it's not like science where you're learning new things every single day, which, you can learn new things every day if you really get down into, certain archaeologists that are finding new things and stuff. But it's this whole statement. What do you think is Ray Fisher's legit complaint? And then the same thing about Gina Carano tweets stupid stuff after being told not to. Well, where is the evidence that she was told not to? People just assume that she was told not to. Was she? Wasn't she? We don't have any proof of that. We can assume, but you're making your entire argument on an assumption. And in this type of situation, you probably shouldn't be making an assumption. You should go off of hard evidence. So this entire statement, it really doesn't make any sense. And all it's doing is making you look stupid. And I'm trying to help you out here because you just made yourself look stupid, right? All right. History may not repeat itself, but it rhymes. Let's see. Mark Twain said that. Ouch. Let's see. Anyways, sorry about that rant. No, I don't think so. Michael, you did. You made yourself look incredibly stupid. If you want, apparently you are the end all be all on this, but just go look at it. Go look at it. And you didn't answer me. What do you think was Ray Fisher? He had a legitimate thing, which, it seems like based on everything that was presented in this article, again, they didn't show any works cited. They didn't provide any actual evidence. It's everyone taking what they said to be completely legitimate and true. They had no links, no work cited, nothing. It's us having to believe everything that they said. And as I'm aware, the person that wrote this article and everyone involved in this article is a stranger to me and to you and to everyone else in the chat. So they are asking us to take their word for everything, which I don't do. I need to see evidence. The thing with Gina Carano, you can go and watch how that happened. You can go and see, and you can go and do the research on it. It's not that hard to do. But apparently you are right about everything, and everyone else, including myself, is wrong because you are the end all be all on this. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Your rants are cool. Well, thank you. All right. Do we need to look at this anymore? Do we need to have this article up anymore? EVS is my fact checker. Well, the thing about Ethan is Ethan knows these people, right? Ethan knows Joss Whedon. He knows Jeff Johns. He's good friends with Jeff Johns. You know, that's a person that, you know, when he says, oh yeah, Jeff Johns is like this or Joss Whedon is like this, he knows them. He's known them for years. He's been friends with them. Oh, let's see what Michael has to say. He might not be allowed to state evidence in an article when there is an official investigation, just like any other lawsuit. Okay, Michael, they have tweets, right? They have tweets that they're citing. Everything that is here, right? They have this information. The person that wrote this article should have provided all of the evidence that they got for this article, right? You know, Kim Masters should have provided, she cites tweets. She cites times people have said that. Okay, so then show that. Show the link to that article where that is. Show the link to this tweet that Ray is referring to. Show the link to the video that he claims that he said something in but was told not to. I don't know if you've ever been involved in a lawsuit. I have. This evidence they could have easily provided for this article, for everything that was stated in here. Do I need to link you to Nick Rekieta to have him explain to you how this works? Because it's not rocket science. And sorry to blow your mind on this, a lot of the stuff that you do when it's evidence like this, and you can go and you can do the research and you can go look into this, you can actually go when there is something like this going on, depending on if it's like a civil suit or something equated to that, you can go and find the evidence. They're not going to show you, well, this is a picture of this person's fingerprint, or this is, you know, this person's home address and this and this. You can change the names and stuff, but you still need to provide that. That's why there's plenty of articles out there back when journalism actually used to be respected, where they show all of the evidence. I mean, it's not, again, it's not rocket scientists. I don't know why this is such a hard concept for people. Anyways, okay, let's move on. Let's see. Let's see. Did I miss any super chats? Did I miss any super chats? Let's see. I see StarCon DM. Oh yeah, just here. Can you read that again? No, I'm not reading this again. I'm actually done with it. It's blurry. I have the little thing. Oh, it is blurry. I have the little thing up here on StreamYards that shows that it's blurry. Sorry, everyone. I apologize. It happens. It happens. I think it's because I'm downloading yesterday's live stream. Actually, is it done yet? It is done. Okay, cool. I can re-upload that. Let me actually pull that up so it's gonna mess up the stream even more, but it is what it is. Here we go. All right. Oh no. Go away. Jesus. All right, here we go. Re-uploading. There we go. And guys, if you ever miss my live streams, I do have a live stream channel called That Star Wars Girl Live. If you ever want to catch it on the repeat, go over there and you can watch it over there. There you go. Dollar store router. No, it's actually, I paid a shit ton of money for this. I had to, they're like, oh, your old one is old. You need to get a new one. And so I bought when we moved into this house, I had to get, the new router and the new modem and all of that. So it would be all top notch. Jim MacBree, thank you for super chat. No messages, just showing my support. Thank you, Anna, for the straight facts. Oh, well, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Let's see. Let me see. 200 Studio, thank you for super chat. What Anna is saying is that of all we know, Ray Fisher didn't prove anything at all. That's true. We have everything that they provided is all that he said, she said. Why doesn't he provide an email with this? Or why doesn't he have an audio clip? And, me, I don't know these people. I've never met or spoken to any of these men. So if he played a voice recording, how am I supposed to know whose voice that is? I would have to go and do the research, right? And then it would always be like, well, is that them? Or is there some kind of voice simulator going on? Because if he played a recording where Walter Hamada or Joss Whedon or somebody said something, or Jeff Johns on a phone call, well, so then provide the evidence for that. And again, it doesn't take much to have an investigator say, look, We called him this many times. We emailed him this many times and he didn't respond. He wasn't, he wasn't cooperative in our investigation. That can be proven right there. You blur out the names, blur out the emails, but show the dates and stuff like that. And all Ray Fisher would have to do to prove that, no, hey guys, I did respond. Here's me responding to their email, and maybe they didn't respond to him, or no, they're lying about that. It's not hard to prove things, and by blurring things out so that way you don't dox anyone or something like that. It's really not hard to do. Ronnie Dodge, thank you for that. You're the best, Anna. The article does nothing for me. Exactly, it does nothing for me except now prove that Joss Whedon is an asshole, which I think everybody knew already, and that Ray Fisher has a huge ego. There you go. And that he has a problem with white people writing black characters for movies. Anna is going full Minecraft. Oh my God, is it that bad? Here, let me turn off my camera so we'll get that. Man, Anna, you are looking like how YouTube looked in the 1990s. Ah, shit. Well, I think it is because I started re-uploading my live stream from yesterday, which will be up on my secondary channel, that's Star Wars Girl Live, if you guys want to go watch it there. I think I am all caught up on Super Chats, and it's almost a 3-hour live stream right now. So I think I'll end it here. Did I miss any Super Chats? Let me scroll through. I'll see if I missed any. And I'll be back later. I'm going to be on World Class Bullshitters channel tonight for the High Council. Let's see. I don't think I missed any. I think I got everyone. I think that was good. That was good where I was able to catch everyone as they came up. I actually like that. I'm going to try doing that more often. But, and if I missed anything, let me know in the comment section. And I will read them on my next live stream. But everyone, thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Oh, before I go, guys, I want to announce something. I think I did already, but so I'm working on a comic book, and I have the pre-launch page up if you guys want to sign up, and you'll get access to a secret tier. This is actually a project I've been working on for like 8 years. And so I'm really excited about it. The link for it is in the description of this video at the very bottom. But if you guys want to, go sign up. And once the campaign launches, you guys will get an email letting you know that it launched. And you'll also have access to a secret tier that will save you some money. So if you guys are interested in that, go sign up there. I'm really excited for it. But it's not about fairies. It's about bugs. But everyone, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Also, if you want to check out my art, you can go over to my Etsy. It's The Art of Anna TSWG, and you can guys go get prints of my artwork there if you're interested. If you're interested, you don't have to, but this is where you can go to buy prints of my work. But anyways, everyone, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.
I'll tell you where I thought I came in the forest, when the lightsaber goes like this and flies off. I said, oh, what a great entrance. Ah! Ray caught it? She hasn't even been to Dagobah for training.